Oh, alright, I think we got audio. I think we got everything. Yay! Happy! Let's just get into it. Alright. So here we are, back again with some more Donkey Kong. We'll hopefully get through World 4, maybe 5 and 6. I don't know, we'll see. But that's just the plan for today. When it comes to stuff, we got a few pieces of gaming news, all small things in my opinion. You know, we're talking about some Minecraft, we're talking about Multiverses, but the more important stuff I've got is for WIBE. I played like 3 games, I watched a few TV shows, all of them comic book related, and then of course we have Marble League. We have the next 2 events, of which I have actually not seen. Yeah, time just kind of got away from me this week. So I have not seen events 3 and 4. So for the first time in a while, actually, this will be a blind reaction. Which, that should be fun. There we go. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's just get into it. So gaming news, right, we're going to talk about the Minecraft Snapshot. Because, oh boy, do I have some thoughts. As the guy who made the 30-minute video talking about the Minecraft Firefly a few years back, I have some thoughts on the new Minecraft Snapshot. Then we'll talk about Forza, just because I want to mention it real quick. And then finally, Multiverses is shutting down, so of course we gotta talk about it. And yeah, that's it. There was not, we're still weeks away from the Switch 2. Nothing else is really happening in the gaming industry. Usually January is very dry when it comes to gaming news. Right? Getting the Switch 2 is actually kind of surprising, but I'm down for it. Sure. So the first thing we gotta talk about is the Minecraft Snapshot. So let's talk about some other stuff first, and then we'll actually get to, the stuff that matters. The stuff that I want to talk about. So for the most recent few Minecraft Snapshots, they've been doing some, seasonal stuff. We've been getting some, existing characters with some new changes. For example, they made new variants of the pig a few weeks ago. We got the warm pig and we got the cold pig. And of course, they're going to keep the classic pig. You got to keep that branding intact. I'm fine with these changes. We've had changes with other, the frog has had multiple changes. I'm sure there are other examples. But I think this makes sense. If they want to call the new update the hot and cold update, that's not a bad idea. Especially if they do some of the other mobs. Like, we got the pig. We got the cow. Are we going to get the chicken next? I hope we get the chicken next. Of course, we got all those variants of wolves like an update or 2 ago. I don't mind this change. It makes... One of the things I'll talk about in a few minutes is ambience and, feel. And that's kind of... Minecraft has never really struggled with feel, but they could always do more, and I always kind of wish they did more. And this might be their chance to, sit down and do more. So I think we got warm cows. One is the fluffy cow. There's I want to say it's either a Twitter post or a Tumblr post. That's look at these fluffy cows. And yeah, sure enough, the cold cow, I think it's the cold cow, is the fluffy cow. I actually think they nailed the texture. There's a part of me that looks at these new cow textures, the warm and the hot one, the cold one, and kind of feel like it makes the old cow kind of look bad by comparison. Because they did update the cow model a little bit. They made the legs symmetrical. They made, they gave it a snout. I think they might have made the horns a little bit more pronounced. Either way, I think it's good changes. But yeah, it kind of makes the old cow look dated, for lack of a better word. I felt like the new pigs looked fine compared to the old pigs, right? The old pigs still look good. But the new cows, yeah, because the warm one, you know, it's more red, it's got more pronounced horns. Like, even as a little bab, the horns are still pretty big. And I think they're good changes, they're good designs. But it now makes the old cows look basic in comparison. Like, the new cows look fluffy. They look like real cows. Whereas the old cows, you know, look like your Fisher-Price video game cows. Not that that's a bad thing, mind you. It's just different. I don't know how else to put it. So that was the first thing we got. Second thing, they added a new bush. In certain biomes, you're going to be able to find this new bush. Doesn't do anything special. You can make infinite amounts of them with bone meal like any other bush. It's purely an ambience thing, making the biome feel a little bit more lived in. I'm always down for stuff like that. So I have no problem with that. But the final part of this. After over 2 years since it was announced, we have the return of the Firefly. So if you don't know the story, 2 years ago, probably over 2 years ago now, Mojang announced that they were going to be reworking some biomes, and they were adding in some new mobs. They were reworking the swamp biome, they were adding in frogs, and then they were going to add they were going to make the frogs eat fireflies. You know, it sounded like a fine idea. And then it eventually came to Mojang's attention that fireflies are poisonous to frogs. So instead of just making the change where, oh, you know, the frogs will no longer eat the fireflies, and instead they'll eat slimes, which is what Mojang did. They make them eat slimes. Instead of making that change, instead, Mojang just removed the fireflies. Now, at the time, this annoyed the crap out of me. Because, well, you know, the fireflies were 2 pixels. At the end of the day, it didn't really mean anything. But it was more that it was a microcosm of everything wrong with Minecraft's development. It represented everything that was going wrong. You know, why people consider Mojang lazy, even though that's complicated. How Minecraft, you know, feels like it's like updates are getting smaller and smaller. Now, because they're adding fireflies, has that fixed any of those other problems? No. No, it has not. Those problems still exist at Mojang. I'd argue they're worse than ever. And of course, my view of that has developed over the past 2 years. I admittedly think it's more of a PR problem than it is a development problem. Because Mojang has a big PR problem. And nothing they do seems to be able to fix their little PR problem. To be fair, they're doing nothing. Mojang has a PR problem, and they've addressed it by doing absolutely nothing. Now, if they think adding in fireflies is going to earn them back some goodwill or whatever, I'm sure it will, actually. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, oh wow, Mojang added in fireflies. What other new things are they going to add in? Nothing. They're adding in nothing. But it's still, Mojang still has problems, and none of those problems have been solved or changed. So what's actually going on with fireflies? There's a new item in the game called a firefly bush. It's a simple bush item with a few little white particles in it, and when it's night, or when the firefly bush is in like a dark area, it will emit particles. They're not 1 by 2, it's just a 1 by 1 particle that flashes between black and white. The firefly bush gives off like a light level of 2, so it doesn't give off too much light. It's barely noticeable, if noticeable at all. And yeah, it's just particles. That's it. And to be honest, that's kind of all it ever needed to be. That's all I wanted fireflies for back in 2022 was ambience. Because you know, little particles, little stuff like that, they really do add some ambience, right? Mojang and some of these other updates added flower petals. They added fallen leaves. You know, a lot of people think this update might be seasons, which, I mean, mod makers have been doing seasons for over 10 years now. I totally think Mojang could add seasons to the game. But that's probably not what they're doing, even though it'd be cool if they did. But we're getting elements of that. They're adding a lot of ambient stuff to the game. And I think that's good. I like ambient stuff. It makes the game more interesting. It makes the world feel more alive. Like, they're not gonna... I mean, to be fair, they actually do kind of have... Like, if you get a wolf, wolves will hunt chickens. Foxes will hunt chickens. Wolves still hunt... Or do wolves hunt sheep? Foxes hunt chicken, wolves hunt... Whatever. Mobs hunt other mobs. They have those elements. And I always like elements like that. Like, one of the things I love that the Xenoblade games do is that, right, if it says, like, in a creature's encyclopedia page that, oh yeah, this creature hunts another creature, if you follow the creature around, you will see it hunt. And that's one of those really cool features that I wish Pokemon did that. Like, they do in little small cases like Survivor and Zigzagoon, but for the most part, they really don't. So, Mojang adding these elements that makes the world feel more alive, makes the world feel lived in, is a good thing. This Firefly bush is a good thing. Do I want to be able to bottle... Do I want to be able to bottle fireflies? Like, if I put 3 glass blocks and a firefly bush in the center, do I want to be able to make a jar of fireflies that gives off, I don't know, maybe the same light level as like a redstone torch? Yes. Yes, I desperately want that. Do I think Mojang is actually going to do that? Probably not. Specifically because, you know, oh, well, when you put a firefly in a jar, it kills them. Oh, won't somebody think of the fireflies? It's a fucking video game, man. Come on. And that's kind of been the biggest complaint, again, right? Minecraft. I get it. A lot of kids play Minecraft. They want to be environmentally aware. But at the same time, it's a fucking video game. But yeah, I like this Firefly bush. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's a good bit of ambience, right? I've already seen people be like, oh, well, if you put them underground, like put a layer of grass above them, they'll emit particles all day long. I think that's great. Being able to have those constant particles, I'm sure people will use them to make some really cool looking builds. It really does suck that the golden age of adventure maps is over, because Mojang keeps adding in all this stuff that would be perfect for adventure maps. But the golden age of adventure maps is over. Of course, there's stuff on the Minecraft marketplace. But why would I pay money when I used to get all that for free? Right? You can't start charging me money for something that I've been getting for free for years. I say that like I didn't pay for Nintendo Switch Online. Honestly, all video games should just have free online. And the only reason, like, Xbox, who, honestly, we know that at one point Xbox considered getting rid of Xbox Live, and they kind of have. The only reason they didn't get rid of it was because it's just free money. That's it. It's just a free, you know, $60 every so often. It's probably more than that now. Other than that, they actually did consider getting rid of Xbox Live to hopefully push more people to Game Pass. It would have been interesting. But yeah, I think this, you know, Minecraft updates are getting smaller and smaller. In theory, all these updates have been for free. That's the thing we gotta remember, is that Mojang at no point asks us to pay any money for an update. This ain't like the Animal Crossing New Horizons update, where it's like, oh yeah, pay 25, you know, 20, 30 bucks and get, you know, this big massive content update. No, they've given us free updates for over 10 years. They technically don't have to do that, but it keeps the game alive. It keeps the game relevant, and the more people that play the game, the more likely they'll spend money at the marketplace. So, like, I get why they do it. But that we clearly see that updates are getting smaller and smaller. You know, the most recent mini update that added the Pale Garden, while it was neat, I think the creaking is a good idea for a mob. I like that new flower they added. I wish the creaking had more ambience. Like, honestly, if they put these little, like, firefly particles in this new creaking biome, but, like, bury the creaking bush or make, like, a different type of thing, I honestly think that would go a good way to add some ambience. Maybe make them a different color. I don't know. I think there's a good idea there. I still think the Pale Garden should have fog. Just, like, vastly limit your view distance, but, yeah, that's just me. But no, I think this is... Firefly Bushes is a good change. I'm glad they did it after all these years. I really feel like if Mojang wants to earn back people's goodwill, the best way they can do it is just do an update based around stuff that people have either wanted or that, you know, were in, like, mob votes and biome votes that you just never got around to implementing. Do, you know, I don't want to call it, like, Minecraft All-Stars, but do, like, the best of what was left behind, or something like... Word it better than that, obviously. But if they added, like, the Copper Golem, the Tough Golem, maybe they did one of the biome votes that they haven't done yet. The Savannah ? I think the Savannah was one of them that had, like, ostriches and anthills. If they do that, that'll earn back a lot of goodwill that Mojang has just lost over the past few years. You can make a big deal about it, right? Be like, oh yeah, this is, you know, the Remembrance update, or whatever they call it. Be it a celebration of Minecraft's history, you know, maybe go into, you know, the place where people recommend, like, changes and updates and whatnot. I know there are certain things Mojang have said that they will never do, but if those things are really popular, or if there's some, like, really popular changes people want, if Mojang just were to add some of those, it would go a long way to earn them some goodwill, instead of doing, you know, whatever they want to do. Which, I still... Call me a conspiracy theorist. I do still think a new dimension is coming, but clearly they're taking their sweet-ass time with it. As the Wild update was over 2 years ago, I want to say June 2022, and we're still just kind of waiting for the next update. I know we've got a Minecraft movie coming soon. I would not be surprised at all if we get some sort of minor update, or something that has some... It'd probably be closer to, like, an adventure pack. I would not be surprised at all if Mojang does, like, an adventure pack that adds in some features from the movie. That adds... Like, you can visit the sets of the movie recreated in the game. That would not at all surprise me if they do something like that. I'm going to call that right here, right now. But that's just a matter of time. So yeah, that's where we are with Minecraft. Oh boy, what a pain. What a pain. I'm talking about this level, by the way. This level is driving me crazy. We've died over 10 times. I'm so frustrated. I feel like very, like, as I'm talking, I feel like every word is, like, very intentional, because I'm trying to focus, but I'm trying to talk about fireflies. And this level is driving me crazy. Because this... I don't remember this at all. I'll be honest, I don't remember this at all. But we did it! We fucking did it. That level sucked. I know this game gets hard, but I thought it gets hard around, like, World 8, not here. God, this is just World 4. Alright, so let's talk about Forza. So, we recently got an update. Hey, guess what? Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PS5. We knew Xbox was going to be bringing more games to PS5. So, Forza coming to PS5, honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not surprised by that. I even mentioned, like, when the new Mario game got revealed. Fuck, I know this level. I think I mentioned this level last week. This is maybe my least favorite level in the game. Unless there's another bat level later on that's much harder. Fuck. Okay, so Forza is coming to PS5. I think that's a good idea. I mentioned when we were playing Mario Kart, hey, I kind of want to play Forza Horizon. Because I think it'd be interesting if the new Mario Kart took some influence from Forza Horizon and Burnout Paradise. So I think this is good. I don't think we have a release date at this moment. We just know it is being ported. Now, normally this is not a story that I would bring up, except for one little factor. This port is being done by Panic Button. If that name at all sounds familiar, Panic Button is the studio that ported Doom to the Nintendo Switch in Doom Eternal. They are, in my opinion, one of the best porting studios out there. They really did, like, when it came to bringing Doom onto Switch, honestly, they gave Nintendo a run for their money with how good that port was. I was actually really impressed with it at the time, and it's still my favorite way to play Doom 2016. So, I'm hearing that they're doing this port. Yeah, you know what? I was actually kind of excited. Does this make me think that, hey, you know, maybe Forza is coming to Switch 2? Or, you know, normal Switch, but probably Switch 2? Yes. If they're doing this port, I think there is a high likelihood that this is coming to Switch 2. Because I do also think that Doom The Dark Ages is coming to Switch 2. Not at launch, obviously. I don't know, there's been a rumor this week that the Switch might be launching May 22nd. Because for the Switch 2, Nintendo seems to have this weird obsession with the number 22. Like, the trailer was released at 2:22 a.m. or p.m. in Japan. The trailer was 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. I don't know, there seems to be this whole 2:22 thing with the Switch. And so the idea of the Switch coming out May 22nd, I don't know, there might be some evidence towards that. Where did let me see. I saw it written down somewhere. Oops. I bookmarked it on Twitter earlier. Alright, so, this comes from a user on Reddit that has since been deleted. But it's, okay, so I've been researching some info and noticed some facts that make a lot of sense with this theory. I'm pretty sure the Switch 2 releases May 22nd, and I have multiple reasons. Nintendo abusing the number 2 during the marketing. The reveal was 22:02. Okay, so I was wrong. 22:02 Japanese time. The video was 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. The direct is April 2nd, which is almost 2 months, 2 weeks, and 2 days since the console was revealed. So releasing May 22nd makes a lot of sense. Second point, Nintendo used to release their products on Friday, but have lately been releasing them on Thursday. And of course, May 22nd is a Thursday. The release date of May 22nd would be exactly 50 days after the Switch 2 Direct, which is indeed the same amount of time between the Switch 1 Direct and its release. And then the final point, the Switch 1 was released before the end of the Nintendo events finished in some cities, like Seoul. It would be the same case for the Switch 2, which also has an event in Seoul in June. Honestly, I think all that adds up pretty well. That actually kind of makes sense, because someone also pointed out, May 22nd is also the opening of Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida. What if Nintendo gives out the first Switch 2 at Super Nintendo World? What if they do like a reveal party, or like not a reveal, a launch party? What if Nintendo does a launch party for the Switch 2 at Super Nintendo World? I think that makes a lot of sense. But even with all that aside, right, Doom comes out literally the week before that. Do I think Doom the Dark Ages is coming to Switch? 100%. Do I think it will be at launch? Probably not. God, this level. I do think, though, that we are going to get more Microsoft games on the Switch 2. You know, there's already been that rumor of the Master Chief Collection. But I do think we're going to get more. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me. I fully expect all of this. And yeah, you know, it's the Switch 2. And yeah, I do want to play Forza Horizon 5. Admittedly, I think when it comes to PlayStation, you know, I don't want to pay $60 for it. Plus, I do literally just have an Xbox. I could pay like the however much for Game Pass and just play it on that. So that's what I'd probably do. But I kind of do want to play Forza Horizon 5. So that's the only reason I brought this story up. I think it's all interesting, but Panic Button is a good port studio. It's kind of like how Bluepoint's a good remake studio. Like, if you want to remake a game, you get Bluepoint to do it. Right? If you want to port a game, you get Panic Button to do it. They're really good at it. So yeah, that's all good. So my last bit of news is Multiverses. So we got the update today that Multiverses will officially be shutting down. Who saw this coming? Everybody. I'll be honest, everybody saw this coming. The last content update comes out May 30th. I think they're adding in like 2 more characters or something. I want to say Aquaman is one of them. I don't entirely know. And then the game is shutting down. What does this mean? Well, as of May 30th, May 30th, the day after, you will no longer be able to download the game on the store. So you'll no longer be able to do that. You won't be able to download it. The servers are being shut offline. However, if you download the game before anytime between February 4th and May 30th, as long as you have downloaded the game and opened it once, you will be able to continue to play it. You will be able to play as all the characters. They're giving you all the characters, all the unlockables. Everything will be playable. And it'll be there. That's good. I think that's a good change. You know, because that's what killed Multiverses. I know some people will say, well, oh, they botched the re-release. Oh, the original game has flaws. The game just isn't as good as Smash Bros. All those things are true. But I think what truly killed Multiverses was the fact that they didn't just copy Smash Bros. Because the two things that Smash Bros. Has over every other platforming fighter is that they're good games, they're good, solid multiplayer, single player, they have it all, and they have good characters. Multiverses solves that second problem. It has good characters. I know other of these, like, platform fighters have good characters as well. Character fighters, whatever you want to call them. I know, right, the SpongeBob one also was a good idea. The problem with the SpongeBob one was that it just wasn't that good of a game, right? The development wasn't that good. Multiverses seemed to have a lot more love and care put into it, but where they fucked up was the content release strategy. Instead of, you know, people play character fighters, or platform fighters, whatever you want to call it, to play as the different characters. If you're going to lock all of those characters behind a paywall, or, you know, I know Multiverses will say, well, oh, you could just play the game and unlock everything. This ain't Smash Bros. In Smash Bros, you play for like 5 minutes and you unlock a new character. In Multiverses, you had to play for like 60 hours just to unlock a single new character. And it wasn't always going to be the character you want. I want to say it was, like, you could work towards certain things, but I want to say it was mostly random. That's the problem. That is the problem with these games. That's also what killed Overwatch 2, right? As far as I know, the original Overwatch let you play as all the characters, but Overwatch 2 specifically segmented characters. And I know games have pulled this off in the past. You know, League of Legends was able to do this, but League of Legends also has over 100 fucking characters. And, you know, in League of Legends, I think you can just pay, presumably just pay a few bucks to get the one character you're just going to play over and over again. Whereas this, you know, when you're... and plus, all the characters in League of Legends are specifically from League of Legends. They're all League of Legends characters. Whereas in this, you know, some people is going to have their favorite character as Batman. Some people are going to like Steven Universe. Some people are going to like Marceline. And, you know, when you have your friend... when you're playing against your friends... Of course, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna have the character you want, but if you don't have the characters your friends have, they're not gonna play it. And I know, well, oh, it's online play. If they download the game, they just buy the character they want. You know, end of story. Guess what? These games, platform fighters, live and die by local multiplayer. At tournaments, right, people are gonna bring their, you know, Switch, their PlayStation, and they're gonna play locally. Right, with friends. They're not going to play online. I know online tournaments exist, but when people go see the Overwatch League, they want this big sort of festival event. They don't just want, you know, a live stream of a bunch of people in a different room. Like, we just had GDQ. And, you know, GDQ's a lot of fun. You know, GDQ online worked. You know, they were successfully able to run the event during the pandemic. But now that we're back in person, GDQ is fantastic. You know, seeing that crowd get all hyped, having those live music events. Those are great. People love events like that. And platform fighters, character fighters, work the same way. They want to be able to play locally with their friends in large audiences and have a good time. And you just can't do that in Multiverses. And that's why that game was doomed to fail before it even released. Do I hate Multiverses? No, I never played it. That's the thing. Will I maybe potentially download it now that it's going away forever, just so that I could, you know, if in case I ever do want to play it, I could have it? Yeah, I probably will. You know, just because as long as you download it before it goes offline, you can re-download it later. Do I think they probably should have made a better... Do I think they should have tried to pivot for the third time and just make the game, pay, you know, 10, 20 bucks to get a full single-player game that, you know, has all the characters, it has online play, you know, everything you need at launch? Yes. Do I think that the best move would have been to just copy Smash Bros? Because we all know what Smash Bros did works? Yes. And, well, I know some people, they did copy Smash Bros. They did, but not in the ways that matter. Like, you hear Masahiro Sakurai puts over 100 hours of development into each character, right? He puts blood, sweat, and tears into all this. And Multiverses doesn't have blood, sweat, and tears. It's a game built by capitalism for the purpose of expanding capitalism. Smash Bros. Is a passion project. It is art. It makes a shitload of money, but it is art. It's passion first. Multiverses is about the money. That's their primary goal. That's why they used the live service model, because they wanted to make as much money as possible. Whereas if they had just copied Smash Bros. And just charged, you know, the $5 for the DLC, they would have easily made probably double whatever they made on their live service bullshit. Probably. And they should have done that from the beginning, by the way. The whole, we'll launch it now, you know, then we'll take the game down and we'll fix it in a year. That doesn't work. I know early access games can work. I think Hades is the perfect example. This was not early access. This was nothing like that. This game died for entirely different reasons than Concord died, but in the annals of history, they will be remembered right next to one another. No, I think this game could have been great. And they really did just fuck it up at every corner. And that sucks. The fact that I never even... A game with fucking Kevin Conroy Batman. I never wanted to play. That's how bad they fucked it up. It's a shame. This level's pissing me off as well. I don't remember this boss at all. And this boss is pissing me off. This entire world has sucked. Honestly, this entire world has been garbo. So yeah, Multiverses is dead. Wow, everybody saw that coming. Oh, you know, maybe Warner Brothers will cancel their other live service games in development. You know, oh, they were making the third Shadow game. Hopefully that's not live service. Oh wait, they already fucked up the second one by adding loot boxes into a single-player game, thus ruining that game forever. Warner Brothers games is already fucked anyways. Because they refuse to make actual games, and they're ruining Mortal Kombat, and they own Mortal Kombat, right? They own that one as well. God, capitalism, man. Capitalism did not pop off with this one. I'll say that. So I've realized with this boss, we just shouldn't move at all. The second we try to, like, move while in the air, we fall off the minecart. We should just try to stand perfectly still, make our jumps, make our ducks when we can. Because other than that, this boss sucks. Phase 2, I think? Anything else? Any other news? No, that's all I can think of. Yeah, again, it's early in the year. There's never anything. Oh, I think Jeff Keighley announced that the Summer Games Fest is going to be June sometime, or like first week of June. Okay, that makes sense. That doesn't surprise me at all. Is that it? Yeah, we're catching up here. Let's just end this. Oh god, it's a multi. We desperately needed that heart. And that one. There we go. Fuck, man. This world sucked. The minecart level sucked. The barrel level sucked. This boss fight sucked. Was it hard? I mean, kind of. I more just found it annoying. That's, I guess, how I'd put it. I remembered the bat, though. I didn't remember this. I didn't remember the minecart level being that annoying. And that's only halfway through the game. They're only going to get worse. That's the thing. They're only going to get worse. Alright, we got our world clear. We're done. Done with it. Next week, oh, then I think there's a Splatfest next week. They're redoing the Chocolate Splatfest. I'm probably going to go Team White Chocolate this time. Last time I was between white chocolate and milk chocolate. I went milk chocolate. I think I'm going to go white chocolate this time. Even though I don't think white chocolate's going to win it twice. You never know. Alright. Give me a minute. Let me go get something. And then I'll be right back. Because there's something I forgot to add to the list. So what did I go grab? A blackberry Dr. Pepper. Alright, so as we get into WIBE, let's just pop it open and take a drink. I'll be honest, it's very blackberry. Like, that's a very strong blackberry flavor. I honestly can, like, barely tell it's Dr. Pepper. I mean, I guess there are hints there, but... yeah, if you just told me that was, like, a blackberry soda, I'd believe you. That blackberry flavor is pretty strong. It's one of the better Dr. Peppers, right? Because I've tried like some of the cream ones and the strawberry. I'm disappointed they didn't do a nationwide release of the chocolate. I thought chocolate Dr. Pepper had so much potential, and they just didn't do it. And I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't do a nationwide chocolate Dr. Pepper. That would have been great. But it was only in limited quantities, only for like, you know, influencers and whatnot, for rewards programs members. But yeah. That's not bad. That might mix good with stuff. I don't know. Yeah. So for WIBE, we got Kirby. I played 2 Kirby games. I actually played Celeste. Oh, fuck. I forgot to put Onyx Storm on here. Shit. I'll write that down when we get to it. I finished Onyx Storm, so I do want to talk about that. And then we got some TV. I watched What If Season 3. I finally finished that. I've been working on it for basically the entire month. But I finally sat down and finished it. We got the first 2 episodes of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We have the most recent episode of Harley Quinn. And then, of course, we're going to end off with Marble League All-Stars. Which, like I said earlier, I have not seen the first 2 episodes. So whatever's happening in Marble League All-Stars, I don't know. Is my team winning? Is my team losing? I have no idea. Alright, so let's start with Kirby 64. So where we left off with Kirby 64, I think I had done the first 4 worlds? I had done the first 4 worlds, and I was having an okay time. I wasn't blown away. Kind of like, I know people don't like Dreamland 2, and I kind of get it, especially if you're trying to like 100% it, but I think Dreamland 2 is a fine game. I know for most people, they say it's the worst Kirby game, it's their least favorite. Mine's probably Mass Attack, if I'm being honest. Maybe Canvas Curse, but I would say probably Mass Attack. But no, Kirby 64 was going okay. Admittedly, I was not getting all the crystal shards. I was just picking up things as I go. I did not fight 02. I want to make that very clear. But you know, it's Kirby 64. It's got being able to combine all 7 of the copy abilities for a bunch of different combinations is very fun, and you got some very fun copy abilities. Admittedly, I hated how many times I kept going back to fucking Statue, which is Rock and Cutter. I must have had that one like 7 times, just because I would try to, you know, start a level, toss my current copy ability, and then pick up a new one based on what the level gives you. I know it's not the best way to play Kirby games, but it gives you variety. And that's kind of what I was trying to do. And I just kept ending back on, I think it's called Statue. It's the one where you where Kirby's a rock and he like cuts himself up to turn into one of the animal buddies, which should be a fun power-up, but God, it just annoyed me. I was so sick of it by the end. Lightsaber was cool. Fire Sword was cool, but I think I only ever got it like once. Firework, I loved Firework. But again, I only got it like 2 or 3 times. And one of those times was the final boss. Is it light, electric, and bomb, which is light bulb? Do not care for that one at all. I kept accidentally ending up with that one again, and that one sucked. I almost did none of the ice ones. I think the only ice ones I really did... I did ice and fire at one point, which just, you know, explodes. And then... what other ice one did I do? Did I do ice and cutter? I don't know. I did one of the other ice ones. It was whatever. I know fridge is really good, supposedly. That sounds right in my head. Fridge is really good. Because it gives you a bunch of heals and whatnot. Yeah. Drill. Oh, I think rock in cutter is... Or not rock and cutter. Rock in needle is drill. That one I did like. But I made it through World 5, you know, post-apocalyptic Earth. I made it through World 6. And you get to World 7. The Heart. And it was like, okay, you know, going through the game, you know, again, I was having a good time. The world... Is it World 5 Shatterstar? Where you have to fight the robot. That boss took me a few tries. Especially because one of the things I don't is when you in other Kirby games, when you lose your power-up right before a boss, usually the boss gives you like 1 or 2 power-ups right before it. You know, maybe they're recommended power-ups, maybe it's just to give you something. Not in Kirby 64. If you want a power-up, you gotta go replay a previous level. And I did not want to do that. So I basically did every boss fight without a power-up. Because you tried the boss fight once, I'd inevitably lose the power-up, and then I'd have to go get something new. But I got to the end of the game, and that brought me to Miracle Matter. Now, the one other time I played Kirby 64, I remember really liking Miracle Matter. But I didn't really remember much of it. Miracle Matter kicked my fucking ass. I played, by the way, I played through this entire game, Kirby 64, while listening to Onyx Storm. And Miracle Matter took me like over an hour. Probably closer to like an hour and a half. Because I'm just not as good as I used to be, but I just struggled with Miracle Matter. Even though, you know, he only has 7 different attacks, 1 for each of the different copy abilities. I just struggled. Because, you know, some of them are super easy. Cutter, Ice was always really easy. I think Rock was no, not Rock. What was it? Fire was probably also really easy, but I struggled with Rock. Cutter was kind of 50-50. Sometimes I could get it. You know, it depends on the attack pattern. Once I figured it out, it was no problem. I struggled with Bomb. Because basically, Miracle Matter uses each of your 7 power-ups, but he can only be hurt by either that power-up or a combination that includes that power-up. So Bomb sucked, because by the time you got Bomb, he'd already switched on to this next phase. So that one I struggled with. I eventually found, oh, like, these are the copy abilities that work really good against certain phases. Needle and Spark. Needle was easy to kill and easy to not get hit on. Spark was easy to kill, but difficult to not get hit on. Because the sparks are they just go all over the place. You know, eventually once you play it enough times, you get the pattern. But Spark... Yeah, Spark was whatever. But I eventually realized that the easiest way to kill Rock... Because Rock, if you take Rock... I guess let's go over Rock. When you take Rock, and then you turn into Rock to hit him, you hit him once, and then you unturn from Rock. Like, you don't stay in Rock forever. You unturn, and then he gets a hit off on you. So it's basically equivalent exchange. So Rock sucked to deal with. But I eventually realized that if I combine Rock and Needle, that gives me Drill. Needle is super easy to kill no matter what, so that was a good get. And then Rock could easily be killed by Drill. So that was my combination I used to get Rock. And then for Fire, for Bomb, I used Fire and Bomb, which gives you Firework. And that worked great. That was an easy, quick kill on bomb. It got rid of all of its bombs. It was perfect. And then fire was easy no matter what. For ice, I just used ice. Honestly, I think ice is the easiest form because he just spins a bunch of crystals around. The only problem with ice is if you accidentally swallow 2 of them, you get snowball. And that because the boss is floating around, it's hard to hit with snowball. But other than that, I think ice is probably the easiest. Cutter's also easy with Cutter as long as you get the attack pattern correct. As long as you are on the right side when you use Cutter, like as long as you're on the side going towards him, Cutter was never really an issue. And then for electric, I kept accidentally getting light bulb. I got light bulb on accident like 3 times. Just because, you know, I would beat something and then I'd pick up, you know, light bulb again. And because those strategies took me a while, right? Using firework, using drill. I didn't figure that out on my first try. It took me like an hour just to figure out like what was working, what wasn't. Because I was definitely experimenting and I just kept fucking... I thought for a while that 2 rock was going to be good, which is like giant rock. No, it wasn't. It wasn't great. But yeah, after like an hour and a half, I finally beat Miracle Matter. I think it's a great boss fight. Honestly, I think the idea of having... Because in most Kirby games, you can just kind of beat them with any power-up and or no power-up. So the idea of Miracle Matter requiring you to use all 7 power-ups, you know, kind of making you think, like, oh, well, what combinations would be useful here? I think that makes for a really good boss fight. And a difficult one, that, yeah, in some, while I was annoyed sometimes, I did honestly really enjoy the difficulty. A lot more than those DK levels I just played. But no, Miracle Matter, yeah, I think it's a good final boss. I know you can fight 002 at the end if you get all the crystal shards. I didn't do that, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to. I'm good. If I'm just being honest, I'm good. Because there are certain ones, like, I tried to get as many as I can. I think I got half of them. Because there are some that you need, you know, certain power-ups, certain abilities to get. And or there were ones that I just missed. Like, at one point, I was like, a crystal shard spawned. But the hole to go to the next area spawned right beneath me. So I just fell through the hole without getting it. And I was like, nope, I don't want to replay that level. That level sucked. I did enjoy Kirby 64. For my first time playing it in like several years, I did enjoy it. But I definitely struggled with that final boss. You better believe I did. So after that, I played Kirby Squeak Squad. This, since, you know, I brought out the DS last week to play New Super Mario Bros. I was like, you know what, I might as well play Squeak Squad. It's been a while. Squeak Squad is regarded as one of the weaker Kirby games. And I kind of agree. It is of, like, the mainline Kirby games. Because I know, you know, some people will argue, well, oh, Epic Yarn and Mass Attack aren't mainline games. And, yeah, I mean, admittedly, I give more credit to Epic Yarn, but I think that's because I like Epic Yarn. I also don't think Canvas Curse and Rainbow Curse are mainline either. But, yeah. But no, I think Squeak Squad is the easiest game, but there's something I find charming about it. Admittedly, Amazing Mirror is better, because the things I like in Squeak Squad are also kind of in Amazing Mirror. The touchscreen gimmick is mostly useless. It's honestly probably the worst plot of any Kirby game. Like, the plot of Amazing Mirror, or the plot of Squeak Squad, is that Kirby's strawberry shortcake is stolen. And so he goes to look for it. At first he thinks DDD stole it. Then the Squeak Squad shows up. And they have a chest that Kirby thinks has his shortcake in it. And then you get to the end of the game. Meta Knight steals it, so you have to go beat up Meta Knight. And probably the weakest Meta Knight boss fight. Like, he doesn't even give you a sword. What's up with that? But after that, you beat up Meta Knight. DeRoach, who is the most memorable character, steals the chest. Turns out it's the Dark Star, which is a piece of dark matter. It's something like that. He gets infected, you beat him up, then you beat up the Dark Star. Some really easy boss fights. It's got some neat things in it. There are some things I like in Squeak Squad. I like the power-ups. They added Bubble, which mostly uses the touchscreen gimmick, but I think Bubble is neat. I like the aesthetics of Bubble. They added Animal, which allows you to dig through the dirt. Kind of like if you played Forgotten Lands, it's kind of like... Imagine like Forgotten Lands Drill, but just, you know, an animal. That's kind of what it is. It plays differently because it's obviously a 2D game. But I like that. I like Animal. I think it's a fun one. They added... I can't remember if Cupid was added in Squeak Squad or if it was an Amazing Mirror. Either way, Cupid is just... It's Archer, but you can fly. It's also worse than Archer. Archer totally expanded the moveset and made the thing way more interesting. They added that one. Again, that might be in Squeak Squad. They gave Magic a proper moveset. In Amazing Mirror, Magic just gives you a random power-up. In Squeak Squad, it's got a full moveset. You can shoot cards, you can pull a bird out of a hat, you can pull a Jack-in-the-Box out of a hat. Of course, it does, once you get the upgrade scroll, it eventually will just give you a random power-up. And you always hit that button on accident. But I honestly do want Magic to come back. I feel like that'd be a good one, to just give it like a fully expanded moveset. I like it. So yeah, like I mentioned, every ability has an upgrade scroll. So like, oh, you know, you'll have like Sword. You know, you have Sword with some basic attacks, and then you get the upgrade Sword, and you can turn Sword into Fire Sword, or Ice Sword, or Electric Sword. And that's really interesting. You know, it's an element they'll later pull for Star Allies. Did Star Allies do it better? Yeah, probably, but I don't mind it here. I used Ice Sword against the DeRoach, and it worked fantastic. I think I used Fire Sword against Meta Knight. I think there's also the Elemental Bombs as well. There might be Elemental Cutters. I honestly don't... if there are, I didn't use them. The only other power-up I can think Squeak Squad added was Ghost. Ghost just allows you to basically shadow an enemy, you know, where you like take control over an enemy's body and you get its abilities. It's kind of like Copy, you know, if you think Copy from some of the other games. Imagine Copy, but, you know, if Copy was Mario Odyssey, Cappy. I honestly, it's one of my favorite abilities. I just think the idea of, you know, you're able to, you know, control a Waddle Dee and you become a Waddle Dee. You can basically, I think the only thing you can't become are bosses and maybe mini bosses. It just, you know, it allows you to shadow enemies. Basically, you can play as these enemies. I think that's a fun idea. Again, Star Allies does it better. Star Allies actually takes a lot from Squeak Squad, and I know people think Star Allies is a bad game. It isn't, by the way. Star Allies is actually pretty decent. But no, it's got elements from Squeak Squad, and it doesn't get enough credit for that. Or vice versa. Either way, I played through it. Yeah, it's one of the easier Kirby games. I died only like a handful of times. I beat it in a few hours. Again, all while listening to Onyx Storm. It was good. You know, I don't think it's one of the best Kirby games, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a good time, because I did. Yeah, the plot is fucking nothing. It's honestly maybe the only Kirby game that is character-driven instead of plot-driven, which is kind of weird to say, especially because the characters don't really have much development, like, at all. I don't know. Admittedly, I did not. I remember Kirby's cake going missing. And in the credits, it asked the question, well, if the Dark Star was in the chest that Kirby thought his cake was in, what actually happened to the cake? Like, the game asks that question, and it never gets an answer. And as a kid, that's kind of where I remembered it ending off. Turns out there's a post-credit scene where the Squeaks just make him a new shortcake. And I'll be honest, I completely forgot about that. But yeah, no, it's a good game. So after that, so I had beaten Kirby, I had beaten two Kirby games, and I still had like 5 or 6 hours in all. I think I had 5 hours in Onyx Storm. So I was like, okay, well, what else do I want to play? Well, last week I talked about Celeste, because the next game from the studio Extremely OK Games was canceled, and that kind of got me thinking, like, oh, you know, it's been a while since I played Celeste. Because I used to, from 2019 until 2022, I played Celeste every year the first week of January. But for some reason, I just didn't do it in 23, I didn't do it in 24, and I didn't do it this year either. So I was like, okay, it's been a while since I played Celeste. Fuck it, let's just boot it up and see how I do. And yeah, I played through the game. Admittedly, I just kind of skipped over all the story stuff, which I don't... Honestly, I think the story stuff is pretty important. But again, I was listening to an audiobook. I played through it. I'm still pretty decent at Celeste, all things considered. Like, yeah, I still kind of know what I'm doing. Admittedly, I didn't do any of the B or C side shit. I kind of want to, because... So, fun fact, I have never beaten the Celeste DLC. They had the Farewell DLC. I never played it, and I have never beaten it. I don't even think I've ever beaten all the C-sides, if I'm being honest. So, there's a part of me that kind of wants to play through some of the B-sides and C-sides again. You know, actually finish the game. Because I've done all the strawberries in the past. I've done the core. I was stuck on the core B-side for years. But there's a part of me that wants to do it. I think I'm going to boot up the game one more time just to do the core. Because I did get enough blue hearts to unlock the core. I only needed 4. I got only a single cassette tape. The only cassette tape I actually remembered the location of was the hotel. Other than that, I did not remember a single other one of the cassette locations. Or if I did, I missed them. No, I think that was the only one I actually remembered. But I remembered a few. I remembered the first, like, few levels blue hearts. So I got those. The hotel is forever ingrained in my brain. Same thing with World 4, where it's the Super Mario Bros. 3 block. The World 2 one, where you have to go up, where you have to use the wall, where you have to use the border and how it refills your charge. Yep, I remembered all of that. I remembered where the final one is, the Ascent, the Summit. But admittedly, I forgot where most of the jewels are. I only picked up like 4 of them. So it had been a while. But yeah, I enjoyed playing through Celeste again. It had been a while, but it's one of my, even though I've never beaten the final DLC, I've never beaten all the C-sides, it's still one of my favorite games of all time. Honestly, it might be my favorite game of all time. Like, legitimately, you could make that very real argument. I don't know, I've never done my top 10 games of all time, I've never done my top 100. That's something I'm saving for the 10-year anniversary. If I'm being completely honest, I'll save that for the 10-year for season 10 of this show. That's like 3 years. That's actually not that. That's only like 2 years away, actually. I think this show started in 2018. 27. I think 2018. So that's like 2 years. That's like 2 or 3 years away. As I'm counting in chat, obviously. But no, I really did enjoy Celeste. It was fun playing it again. I watched a video on YouTube popped into my recommendation feed comparing Celeste to Mario Bros. And it was talking about how, like, their problem with Celeste, the person talking about it, who I want to make clear is not like it was not like a universal opinion, you know, to each their own. Their problem with Celeste is that, like, Celeste asks a very specific thing from you. Like, it's like, okay, you're in a room, we want you to make, you know, this jump, this dash, this ledge grab, this dash, this jump, then, you know, do this ledge grab, and you beat the level. Right? It gives you there's a very specific set of things you have to do to beat every level. Whereas, like, Mario Bros. Gives you the freedom to just kind of do whatever you want. Right? Oh, it gives you this tool set, and you could beat any level in any order. Is Celeste harder? Yeah, usually. And I kind of feel like that might have been the thing that they left out of that. Even though I was watching a revised version of that video. The one thing I kind of feel like they left out is how Celeste can actually be very fucking difficult. But it was an interesting video to watch anyways. I don't agree with it. I want to make that very clear. Like, I don't agree with it. But I think their point about, like, yeah, Celeste, you know, has a very strict way of doing things, whereas Mario Bros. Is open. Like, yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's all, you know, it's all up to taste, and my taste is, I think they're both good. I think they both do things well in their own way, and while I love Mario Bros., and, like, some Mario games rank very high, Celeste is one of my favorites. Let me find, I'm still looking. It was made by Pariah695, and it was open-ended versus restricted platformers, revised. So if you're at all interested, go check that out. But yeah, I watched that video, like, it just popped up in my feed right after I beat the game. It's only got like 8K views. But yeah, it was interesting. Again, I don't agree with them, but, you know, everyone's got their own point of view. So I might go back to Celeste B-side. I don't know, the B-side fucking scares me, man. I know the A-side really well. I think took me 3 hours to beat the game. Only a handful of deaths. Oh, I think like less than 500 deaths. 3 hours, less than 500 deaths. The B-side's gonna, like, quadruple that number. Maybe septuple that number. I do not know the B-side that well at all. Like, I think the only B-side level I've ever played more than once is the hotel. And I'm not doing all the strawberries again now. I've done that once before. I don't need to do that again. So I do want to talk about Onyx Storm. So Onyx Storm is I finished the book. And I've got some thoughts. So this is the third book in the Imperium series. I think there's going to be 5 of them. Honestly, I don't know how the fuck there's going to be 5 of them. But there's going to be 5 of them. Admittedly, I listened to it, right? If it wasn't clear, the fact that I was playing Celeste and Kirby while doing this. I listened to these books. Because it's done. The audiobook's narrated by Rebecca Soler, who also did the audiobook for Cinder, another book I do really enjoy. And, like, that's, like, when I say I like the Imperium, right, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, Onyx Storm here, which, admittedly, this is my least favorite of the series. There's an element of, like, yeah, I like these books, but I also gotta admit they're kinda trash. I actually just do genuinely enjoy Cinder. Are they also kinda, you know, are they perfect? No, they're no Hunger Games. But I really do like Cinder. Whereas the characters in these, I could take them or leave them sometimes. But yeah, so at the end of Onyx Storm, I'm just gonna say full spoilers ahead. Like, I'm honestly just kind of gonna go for it. Because I've got some things I want to talk about. And admittedly, like, okay, the whole reason I was bringing up I'm listening to them is because as I was finishing these books, the last, like, 2 hours, I was like, okay, I've been playing video games, you know, it's been the end of a long day, I'm just going to kind of sit back and relax and listen to these books. And listen to the last 2 hours. I started to fall asleep. I'll be honest, just kind of sitting down, listening to them. I was falling asleep, so I definitely missed some shit. I think I more or less got it, but I definitely missed some shit. So I'll do the best I can. Will I go back and actually find out what's going on? Maybe one day, but for the moment, I was just like, I more or less got the gist. So at the end, I don't even remember where we were. I think we were halfway through the book last time. I definitely have some thoughts with the ending. So in the end, Zayden, Segale, his dragon, gets captured, and he basically has to go full Venom to save her. Okay, that's good. You know, they're making Zayden into Kylo Ren. Now, does that mean Violet is Rey? Yes. Is that a bad thing? God, yes. But, you know, that'll be a future problem. Because is this basically just one step away from Reylo? No. Yeah, basically. So I have my concerns, very rightfully so. But, you know, Zayden going full, you know, Venom, I think was good. There's a part of me that's because the whole big plot is that I think her name is Therafin, She's one of the Venom. She's a Marin, I think. It's something like that. There's Sage, Maven, maybe Maven's the right one. And her name's like Therafin or something like that. She wants Violet to turn into a Venom. That Violet's destined to be a Venom. You know, she was dedicated in the name of the god Dune, which there's an entire chapter of this book that's literally just a Dune homage, where like the people, their eyes glow purple instead of blue, but it's clearly a reference to the book Dune. Like, there's no other way to view it. But Violet, right, because she's been dedicated, this Therafim has been dedicated. And I like that twist of like, oh, that's how they kill her, is because she's been dedicated to Dune. The things that make the, you know, people dedicated to Dune weak also still work on her, even though she's a Venom. I think that's a good twist. The fact that the prince, Elric, something like that, he has precognition. Admittedly, that was kind of like the one I didn't really see coming, was because early on he mentions like going to the temple, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Why did he want her to go to the temple? Because I admittedly didn't at that moment put together like, oh, it's precognition. I put that together a little later. But then, so she does that. She uses the knife, defeats Therafim. She's able to save her dragon. But in the process, Andarna comes back and saves her. And can I be honest? I'm kind of disappointed Andarna came back. Because I fully suspect that between this book and the next book, we're going to get a time skip. We have to have some sort of time skip between books. And I feel like them sending Andarna away makes it far more likely that, oh, you know, when the next book comes in, it'll be when Andarna comes back, like 5 years later. I think a 5-year time skip would make perfect sense. But now that Andarna's back, which, of course, she says like 3 or 4 lines at the end of the book after she comes back, we get almost nothing from her. Again, unless I slept through it. Yeah, I don't know why Andarna came back. I really actually do not think that was the right move. Yes, did it suck losing Andarna? Did I totally predict that she was going to come back? Yes and yes. But I feel like it would have been for the best if she just didn't. But she does. She saves Violet. But, you know, we find out, right, in because we get a chapter from Rhiannon, which, admittedly, I think her chapter added nothing. Like, I get why they'd want to do one from her perspective, but I don't feel like it added anything. We get a chapter from Imogen, where we find out that her girlfriend Quinn dies, which was a good chapter. And then we get a chapter from Xaden, where we find out Panchek was evil, makes sense. And then, now he's fully Venom, he's stuck to the Sage, Belial, or whatever his name is. That's definitely not it. But he's stuck with his Sage, and he's gonna have to deal with that. Okay, that makes sense. They also, in that chapter, hint that somebody else with a sibling is a Venom. Of course, the other person I was talking to who's also reading this book, their thought was Brennan. And I was like, no, Brennan lacks the motivation to be a Venom. I just don't see it. My guess? Holgren? The prince. The first, not the firstborn. But, you know, there's the two princes. They're twins. Holgren and Elric, or whatever their names are. One starts with an H, one starts with an E. My guess is it's the other prince, because he has the motivation, he hates Violet, he hates his brother, I could totally see him betray his father. Because there was a part of me that kind of wanted Violet and Xaden to both become Venom by the end of this book. Because you find out, and I don't remember if I knew this last week, that when a human becomes a Venom, their soul dies. Like, throughout most of the book, Violet's trying to find a way to undo being a Venom, but she learns that no, it just kills you. And I definitely do think that these books are going to end with Xaden's death. Like, they either end with Xaden's death, or this book hinted that, hey, you know, the Venom are going to have to evolve one day. And while Venom themselves cannot evolve, their kids can. And that's kind of why I thought Violet was going to become a Venom. That, oh, her kids are going to evolve, right? Her and Xaden are going to have kids, and those are going to be the one to evolve. But that's not where the book's going at the moment. They could do that in the future, but I feel like this was kind of the best moment to do that. So we'll see. But no, I think the first print, the next guy in line to be king, Holgren or whatever, Violet's ex-boyfriend. I think he's the Venom. He's the one they talk about. That's my prediction right now. I'm gonna call it. And then yeah, the book ends with, hey, guess what? Violet and Xaden are married. There's some dragon eggs missing. There's some flyers missing. But hey, Violet and Xaden are married. But Violet doesn't remember because Imogen wiped her memory. Why did Imogen wipe her memory? I have no fucking idea. Honestly, maybe it's revenge for, because it's kind of Violet's fault Quinn is dead. Maybe it has something to do with that, but I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb. I know something important happened during that wedding, and they don't want us, the reader, to know yet. But if the book had just ended with them saying they're married, that would have been fine. But whatever. The dragon egg's missing. I'm gonna guess it's one of each type of dragon. My prediction, whether it's Xaden who took them or the Venom who took them, because whether Xaden's working for the Venom, or, he's going to try to lead the Venom, or he's going to make his own group, a third faction, we honestly don't know. But whoever took them, I'm going to guess it's the Venom. Not Xaden, but the Venom. They took, or maybe Xaden for the Venom. They're trying to make their own Ward Stone. They're going to use this, because in one of my predictions with the first book, or the second book, was that to fire the Ward Stone, they needed the 7 dragon types. The 6 they have, and then the 7th one, which was the iridescent, the Irid. My prediction is that the Venom are going to try to fire their own Ward Stone, using the Earth, the Wyvern, whatever, using themselves as the 7th dragon, to try to make a Ward Stone where they can use their magic, but the writers can't. That's my prediction right now. I don't know. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But if I had to guess, that's where I put my money. And yeah, the book ends with we don't see the wedding. We just see she has the ring. There's a one of the chapter text boxes hints that the Duchess of Tyrandor, she's impossible to work with. And clearly the next book, while they're fighting the Venom, they're clearly also going to go to war with the nation they were a part of in the first 3 books, right? Whatever the king is, the continent, basically Tyrandor is going to go to war with everybody else. That's going to be one book, and then they're going to be dealing with the Venom as well. But I think we're going to get a time skip. I'm going to call that right now. But yeah, I do think Onyx Storm, usually the middle of the story is either the best or the worst. The middle of Star Wars is the best Star Wars. The middle of Percy Jackson, The Titan's Curse, is personally my favorite. But I know it can also be the weakest. I admittedly can't think of any good examples off the top of my head. But I think it could go either way. I don't know, I guess I'm still interested in these books, but they're not perfect. They've got plenty of flaws. None of my thoughts on that have changed any time since then. I just noticed something. I was like, I don't have the chat pulled up. Has anybody... I just realized I didn't... Because usually I have that pulled up. I just realized I didn't. I might have broke something. But I was like, did I break the little chat overlay? No, it's still there. Okay. So let's talk about What If. So I know the 3rd season of What If came out a while ago. I didn't watch it at the time, but I knew I was going to get around to it eventually. I finally did. It's What If. Honestly, it's not the worst show I've ever seen, but it's not great. The problem with What If, as many people have pointed out, is creativity. I think the animation looks decent. I feel like sometimes they've got some good ideas, but they're just... The thing is, if What If had just been a purely anthology show, hey, guess what? Every week, you come down, you see a new episode where it's just like some sort of crazy thing that happened in the Marvel Universe. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're funny. Some weeks you get What If Zombies. Other weeks you get Party Thor. Right? If they had done like some fun episodes, some serious episodes, right? Some ones people wanted. If we had gotten a mix of everything, then I would have felt like the show was fine. But because most episodes were mid, most plot ideas were kind of mid, the show just ended up being underwhelming. I don't think it's all bad. I mean, again, I will defend the Party Thor episode in season 1. What if Thor was an only child? It's kind of a dumb episode, but as a love letter to like 90s party movies, it's actually really fun. I will defend that episode. I think that's a really... God damn it. I think that's a really good, really solid episode. But, like, those should be, like, every once in a while. The rest of the show should be, a little bit more serious. The one episode everybody wanted was what if the other side survived the snap. And, rightfully so. I feel like what if the other side survived the snap had so much potential, and they just never did it. And instead we got 3 or 4 fucking Captain Carter episodes. Even some of the good ideas, like what if 1609, or whatever that episode was called. Like, that should have been a great episode. It's based on a classic Neil Gaiman comic. Neil Gaiman. Never mind. Okay, never mind. That should have been a good episode. And then it was fucking ruined by Captain Carter being there. The show, I know we always talk about industry plants. Captain Carter is very obviously an industry plant. Now, if they had won, again, one of the big problems is they have to connect everything. The show has a sense that, everything's got to be connected. We got to do so many connecting episodes. Everybody's got to be relevant to everybody else, We'll have the final episode of the season will be all the characters coming together. If they wanted to do the Exiles, they should have just done the fucking Exiles. Because that's what the Exiles is. If you've never read them or you've seen the Linkara video, the Exiles is a Marvel comic about a group of characters going around the multiverse solving multiversal problems. And in the final episode, they reference they call Captain Carter's group the Exiles. If that's what they wanted to do, they could have made that show. But that's not what if it was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be, and don't get me wrong, not every what if story is great, especially in the comics. But I would have been fine with that if they had just done some more interesting things. And they just never did. Again, not that everything's bad. I think there's some fun episodes in there. Like in season 3, you have the What If Howard the Duck Got Hitched, which is a follow-up to the Party Thor episode. And I actually thought it was kind of funny. I think seeing Darcy, I'm forgetting the Kat Dennings, seeing her, Seth Rogen's Howard the Duck, those are fun characters. And I think this cosmically important egg, basically, the Star Child, basically fucking Mantis from the comics, right? Doing that's it was a fun episode. And if you had those fun one-off episodes in between, high quality, good, serious episodes, I would literally have no issue with this whatsoever. But the problem is every fucking episode kind of feels like, what if Marcy and Howard the Duck got hitched? Darcy. So that one's fine, but yeah. The first episode, well, I'm just going to go through the season. The first episode, what if Hulk fought the Mecha Avengers? I think that's a great idea. Putting the Avengers in mech suits, a la, Power Rangers or Gundam or whatever, that should be such a slam dunk episode. It was so fucking boring. The Mech Avengers just weren't interesting. They made Moon Knight one of them, and he does nothing. The whole the giant Hulk monsters were super boring. This should have been a slam dunk, and they just failed. And it fucking, like, this could have been, you know, play it like you do Pacific Rim. And they just didn't. They just didn't. It was boring. It was underwhelming. The whole impetus of it, where it's like, oh, what if Sam Wilson, you know, what if Bruce Banner went to therapy? And, you know, this is the result of that. That's not the kind of message you want to send, Marvel. Honestly, the message is terrible. So yeah, the season started off super weak. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? What? Who asked for that? That's the kind of thing. Who asked for that episode? Agatha and Hollywood. And basically, now, the episode itself, I don't think is terrible. It's basically a love letter to, like, early Hollywood. And if Marvel wanted to do a love letter to early Hollywood, I'm fine with that. Again, them doing a love letter to 90s party movies worked really well. And there are elements of this episode, I think this episode is better than the previous one. You know, getting that love letter to Hollywood, getting that love letter to Bollywood with Kingo. There's some good ideas here. And, like, clearly, like, this is, right, it's all about, like, movie magic and whatnot. It's very romanticized. But it's just kind of an episode, you know? I don't feel like they really did anything that interesting. What if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier is the worst one? I would argue that's the worst one. It's just the Red Guardian, you know, who already is kind of a jokey character. He goes and stops the Winter Soldier from killing Howard Stark? Yeah, Howard Stark. And, you know, the wife, whose name I can't remember. And in the process, you know, he screws up the mission. Him and Bucky right there, they have to find their own way home, and they end up going to Vegas. Meanwhile, they're being chased by Goliath, who, there are moments where it's like, okay, clearly you used this character just because we didn't get to see them that much. Which, sometimes I don't mind that. I think it was the 3rd episode of the 1st season. What if the Avengers died, or whatever it was called. Where they specifically are like, okay, in the comics, Hank Pym becomes a villain. Like, honestly, that's maybe his most famous story, is Hank Pym, you know, slapping his wife after becoming a villain. And arguably, people still fucking hate Hank Pym 40 years later. Admittedly, I don't think he was a villain at the time, but you get the point, right? Hank Pym becoming a villain is a super iconic thing in the comics that they're never going to do in the movies. So them doing it in What If, I think, was a fine idea. Admittedly, it's not a great episode, but I see where the idea came from. I see the potential for a good episode. Oh, God. But this Red Guardian one, right, they go to Vegas. If this had been like the Red Guardian breaking free of his mind control, you know, he remembers Coney Island, whatever. But in the end, it just kind of sucked. I didn't like the Red Guardian. I didn't like, Bucky was whatever. I liked the twist that you find out that the hit put on Howard and Maria was done by Obadiah. Does that mean that's canon to the mainline universe? No. But I think in this episode, that was like finding out that the Rook was, you know, Obadiah Stane. You know, the Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps guy. I think that was a good twist. I like that. But other than that, the episode was just kind of underwhelming. At the end, you know, oh, guess what? You know, the Winter Soldier gets captured again, Civil War happens, whatever. And then the Red Guardian, you know, disguises himself as like a PE teacher until he eventually, you know, joins the Avengers. That's all whatever, that's fine. I already spoke about the Howard Darcy one. Like, you know, the idea of them all chasing after this egg that has this cosmic importance, and it eventually just becomes like a clusterfuck. I mentioned that they bring in characters who, you know, we don't see that much. We've already seen the Collector in What If. Okay, that's how you get the toxin off. We've already seen the Collector in What If. So instead of using the Collector again, they use Mad Mickelson's character. I can't remember the character. I just know it's Mads Mikkelsen. And that's a, you know, it's at least adding variety. Like, I get why they do it sometimes. And, you know, like, by the end of it, you have, you know, the followers of Dormammu, you have Thanos and his group, you've got the Dark Elves, you've got the Frost Giants, S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, everybody's chasing after this egg, and then it literally Raiders of the Lost Arks them. That, I thought it was a fun episode. Is it, like, anything amazing? Is it, like, super good? No. But I had fun with it. I don't know, it was okay. Am I kind of surprised they don't have Party Thor in it? And, you know, we get to follow up, because we see Loki, and he turns out he's turning the Frost Giant realm into a ski resort, which I thought was a decent joke. But yeah, we don't see Thor in this one. They like make a joke out of the fact that we don't see Thor. But no, I thought it was fine. You know, again, if this wasn't every episode, I would be a lot more forgiving. But the fact that every episode kind of feels like this just kind of sucks. Episode 5 was What If the Emergence... What is it? Just What If the Emergence... It's like, what if the emergence didn't happen, or, you know, happened earlier? What if the emergence wasn't stopped? Which, can I be honest, I don't get why this episode is called that. Like, okay, the emergence, based on the plot of this episode, this clearly should have just been, what if Quentin Beck defeated Spider-Man? Right? Like, the basic premise is like, hey, it's a universe where Mysterio is in charge. I like that idea. I think that has potential. But for some reason, they're on like the scattered, they're on Battle World, right? Just scattered parts of a destroyed Earth. You know, we see the Resistance, which is, you know, Wong and that one guy from... Was there even another guy in it? Wong, you know, someone from Shang-Chi, other characters who I don't remember. You know, the Resistance is super underwhelming, but basically right after the emergence happened, Mysterio takes over. He takes over the world using Stark tech. I feel like this episode would have been perfectly fine without him. You could have Mysterio kill all the heroes, and then, hey, Riri Williams. She's the one person trying to stop this. Basically, the whole episode is built around, like, the Watcher being like, oh yeah, Riri Williams is going to fail, but you know, just this once, I'm gonna interfere to make sure she doesn't. It's the Watcher. Guess what? He always breaks his oath. I'm not surprised by that at all. You know, you have, like, because the Earth is destroyed, the Resistance's secret base is the Titanic. Mysterio's, like, trump card is a Vision, White Vision. I feel like this episode would have worked perfectly fine without the whole emergence bit. Like, I feel like they just did that to make the set more interesting, maybe? I don't know, I wanted to like this episode more than I do. I feel like there's some good ideas here. Especially with, like, some of the fake... I love Mysterio. That's the thing. I think Mysterio is a great villain. He's in his element, gaslighting children, and it just kind of was an episode. It's better than the Hulk one, but it's not saying much. Yeah, I wanted to like this one way more than I actually did. The next one was What If 1872. I legitimately have no idea why this episode exists. This is Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in the Wild West, and they're after the Hood. Basically, right, immigrants coming from China. One of them was Shang-Chi's sister. She was kidnapped by the Hood. Kate Bishop's family was killed by the Hood, so they're out looking for the Hood. Have we ever seen the Hood? Is this the first appearance of the Hood in the MCU? Yes, because the Riri Williams Ironheart show hasn't premiered, and supposedly he's in that. But yeah, we get the Hood. It's Wild West themed. The little kid I immediately clocked as Iron Fist. I was like, yeah, that kid's obviously Iron Fist. There are some moments. For some reason, the villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp is in this, not Ghost, the other guy. If you remember Ant-Man and the Wasp, there's, you know, there's Ghost, and then there's that, like, what is he, a drug lord? Sonny, I think his name's like Sonny Birch or something like that. He's the one who sells Hope, like, the parts at the beginning of the movie, and then he's trying to steal the building at the end. He's honestly a pretty forgettable part of the movie. I don't think he's a bad actor, I just think it's a forgettable part. But yeah, no, he's in this episode for some reason. And yeah, they use him, I guess. You know, he's got a mind control pocket watch because they needed to give him something to do. And of course, you eventually get to the twist of the episode. Hey, guess what? The Hood is actually Shang-Chi's sister. She's the one doing this. You know, she wants revenge for how the immigrants are being treated in this country. And, like, don't get me wrong, completely valid motivation. I totally understand why she would want revenge for that. But it was just kind of an episode, you know? It's weird, like at least, again, What If 1609 or whatever it was called, at least that one's, like, based on an actual comic. Wait. Did they take that episode off of Disney Plus? Oh shit, they might have. I haven't seen anybody talk about that. Did they take... Because, again, it's based on a Neil Gaiman story. Did they take... Like, at least they were adapting a comic there. I don't know if this is adapted from a comic. If this is, then, you know, I guess I'm a little bit more lenient on it. But I don't honestly know if it is. Oh, no, there it is. It's just... For some reason, I thought it was 1602. No, it's What If the Avengers Assembled in 1602. I honestly would not have at all been surprised if they took that episode off. Because for some reason I thought season 2 was 10 episodes. No, I guess it's only 9. That's weird. But yeah, so after that, you know, you get 1872. Then at the end of that episode, because the Watcher interferes again. Because he's the Watcher. That's what he does. He gets in trouble with the Council, I want to call them the Imperium, or the Triumvirate, but I know that's not a... He gets in trouble with the other Watchers for breaking his oath. Hey, guess what? It's the Watcher. That's what he does. So we get What If the Watcher Disappeared? And this is the Exiles. It's Captain Carter, Birdie, who was the egg, right? She's all grown up. She's with the Exiles. It's, what's her name? Not Kohiri? Kohiri. Kohiri? You know, the first ever original superhero to the MCU. The Native American woman. We get her. It's her, Captain Carter, Birdie, and then Storm, but she's Thor? Was this set up in any of the previous things? No. Was this potentially set up in X-Men 97? I have no idea, admittedly. I have not watched X-Men 97. I know, it's the one good thing the MCU has done in recent years. I'll get around to it. I still haven't watched Creatures Commando either. But no, I watched this and fucking Spider-Man, so sue me. But so it's that group, and they're going around to different realities, fixing problems. You know, I think we see the reality from the season 2 premiere, and the Nebula episode, which was also pretty fucking bad. We see that, you know, they fix the problem. They find the shards from the Watcher. They're trying to, you know, break the 5th dimension. Eventually, they go find Infinity Ultron, who basically Infinity Ultron in these 2 episodes, because it's basically a 2-parter. Because the final one is What If. Ultron in this episode is basically just the Lich from Fiona and Cake, where, you know, after destroying everyone, his life kind of... Right, he thought, oh, my purpose is, you know, to kill everyone, to make peace. But now that everyone's dead, there is no peace, right? There's just nothing. And nothing is not equal peace. So I don't mind that change in perspective from, you know, Infinity Ultron. So we get that. Captain Carter gets captured. They go to save her. Eventually, you know, they fight the other Watchers. Because, you know, the Watcher broke his oath. Battles happen. They try to run away to that Doctor Strange universe. That, to be honest, I completely forgot that Doctor Strange created his own universe at the end of the second season. But they try to do that. They don't get away. They have this big fight. Eventually, all the characters get the powers of the Watcher. Which, I mean, like, hey, you know, if they're going to do Exiles, at least they didn't do fucking space bugs. I'll give them that, I guess. Because, yeah, that's the Exiles comic. That's what they used. Instead of the Watcher, it was fucking space bugs. At least for a while. But in the end, right, they're trying to get the other Watcher, because Uatu, this is where they finally give him a name. So they try to get the other Watchers to, like, submit. They refuse, and instead use their ultimate attack, which for a second, I thought they were going to, like, form the Living Tribunal, because the Living Tribunal has been hinted at several times in the MCU, but we've never actually seen him. So I was like, oh, that would be, you know, that would make sense for the Living Tribunal to be here. But no, they do this ultimate attack. That's basically, if you saw the most recent season of Rick and Morty, where, you know, he's got the unnamed weapon that can, you know, erase everyone from every reality, or whatever it is. Basically, it's that. They're gonna erase every instance of Captain Carter, every existence of Kohiri and Storm and Birdie. And then Captain Carter goes in, she sacrifices herself, but is able to stop it. And with that, they make it to the Doctor Strange universe. They look out over a grateful universe, and the other Watchers finally see beauty in it. Which, admittedly, I don't remember the whole backstory of the Watchers. It's been a while. But yeah, at the episode ends basically with Captain Carter's funeral, which I know there are some people out there who are going to be happy that Captain Carter's fucking dead. Because I know some people really fucking hate her. And, I mean, she's an industry plant. I kind of get it. Again, if they wanted to do an Exile show separately, they could have totally done an Exile show. You know, make it a little longer, give us some characters we actually care about, build and evolve their dynamics over the seasons, kill off some of them as they bring in new ones. There's plenty of material they could have used for an Exile show, and they just did none of it. But yeah, that's What If. As a whole, What If had so much potential. I remember when they announced it, right? It's an animated show where they're just going to be doing, you know, What If the MCU. That had so much potential. There were so many ideas, and they did basically none of them. The amount of episodes I like, I could probably count on, maybe out of basically 30 episodes, a little less than that. I could probably count the number of episodes I liked on one hand. I don't know, it can't, and I know sometimes that's how the comics work as well. A lot of the comic What Ifs are kind of underwhelming as well. Right? Like, one of the more recent ones was What If Miles Morales was Thor? And that honestly feels a lot like some of the episodes of this show, and it just kind of sucks. And I get it, not every episode's gonna be a banger, but I wish there were more bangers in here. Right? Like, I feel like the strongest episode of What If is still weaker than, like, most episodes of other TV shows. Admittedly, I don't think the weakest episode is, like, even fucking comparable to, like, the weakest episode of Teen Titans Go. But it ain't great. What episodes did I like? That I like. Like, there are some episodes that I give a pass to. Like, specifically, What If Captain Carter... Like, honestly, if every season, they'd just been like, okay, season 1, you get your first episode is Captain Carter. Then we don't see her again. Then in season 2, they do Captain Carter Winter Soldier. And then in season 3, they had done Captain Carter Civil War. Right? And we get a whole different cast of characters in Civil War. That would have been good. I feel like there was potential there. because I want to say they set up in the Captain Carter universe that like different members are on the Avengers team. If they had done Captain Carter Civil War, I would have been fine with that. But that's not what they did. And that just kind of sucks. But right, like the first 2 episodes I give a pass to. What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes wasn't great. The Doctor Strange one was okay. I liked the ending of him destroying his world. Like, yes, do they kind of undo it eventually? Yeah, but I think it was fine. Zombies was decent. I know they're making Zombies into its own show, and I kind of get it. It has potential. Killmonger one I did not like. Thor is an Only Child. Again, I think that's a funny episode. That one I do actually enjoy. It's a dumb premise, but I do enjoy it. What If Ultron 1 was okay. And then What If the Watcher Broke His Earth was... Again, if you want to do crossovers, that's not what If really is. Like, they basically tried to make a mini MCU. But as a result of making a mini MCU, they basically took all the problems of the MCU and quadrupled them. So there's, what, 1 episode out of, what, 9 or 10? Yeah, 1 of 9. Season 2, the Nebula one sucks. I actually don't mind the Peter Quill created right on Earth one, because it's like, we see like, oh, what if the Avengers formed in the 80s? So, you know, you get the original Captain Marvel, you get Goliath, you get some of those other characters. I feel like there's some good ideas there. I actually don't mind that one. Happy Hogan Saves Christmas is also fine. Like, it's a Die Hard homage. It's fine. Iron Man crashed into cars, whatever. Captain Carter fought the Winter Soldier, whatever, the Hydra Smasher. Again, if they wanted to do Captain Carter, Winter Soldier, okay, whatever. But it's weaker than the sum of its parts. What If Kahori Reshaped the World was okay, you know, for the MCU's, like, first original hero. Yeah. It's very clear in the final episodes where they're doing the Exiles, she's just filling in the role of Blink, right? In the actual Exiles comic, like, the one consistent character is Blink, who is a mutant, and clearly they just used Kohiri as Blink, which, Let's see. What if Hela Found the Ten Rings was not... What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? Again, it had potential. It's based on a comic. And then Captain Carter ruins it. Take Captain Carter out of that episode, and I would actually say it's pretty decent. And finally, what if Strange Supreme something? I don't know. They tried to do like these real epic moments in that episode, and it just kind of falls flat. So what? We're up to like 3. And then in season 2, I thought the Darcy episode was fine, but I liked the first one better. The Emergence episode I found super underwhelming. I guess, so what? Out of 26 episodes, I like 3 of them. Like, there are 3 that I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed these episodes. I'd watch that again. That's fucking pitiful. That should not be the case. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the other show I watched that also Marvel, which premiered, I think I finished What If, and then I turned around and watched this show. Spider-Man. I have it in my notes as Spider-Man freshman year. I think the show is officially called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Because at one point this show was supposed to be, you know, the Spider-Man from the MCU showing his first year as Spider-Man. Like, that's what they pitched the show to us as. Eventually, probably very early on, it morphed into something completely different. But there are still clearly elements of that. So spoiler alert for these first 2 episodes. The end of the first episode, you have Peter Parker, you know, he's done being Spider-Man for the day. He comes down, he sees a VCR or a DVD, I think it's a DVD player, in the trash, and he's like, oh, that's really cool. And then he sees a really cool car, and he takes a picture with it. And then it starts playing the music from Captain America Civil War. And they basically recreate the scene from Civil War. but with Norman Osborn. Because again, we're in the multiverse. If they want to do that, that's fine. And yeah, I think that's a fine moment, you know, to recreate that scene, but, you know, to have the twist be, oh, it's Norman Osborn this time. How is that going? Because they clearly establish, you know, the Avengers exist in this universe. Not Doctor Strange, because, you know, his movie hasn't happened yet, because that comes after Civil War. They still do that. I think the origin story stuff, because the show starts off, it's Peter's first day of high school, and it gets interrupted by Venom, played by Freddy Fazbear. You know, Killian Goff is Venom, which, yeah, that's fucking true. He doesn't have a line, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we get that, and Venom is being attacked by Doctor Strange. In the process, the spider comes down and bites Peter Parker. Listen, I get it. People have seen Spider-Man's origin story over and over again. They're sick of it. I get that. And guess what? Spider-Man Homecoming did a good job just completely avoiding that. We didn't need... The version they give us here is, like, infinitely worse. I feel like, you know, just immediately off the bat, connecting Spider-Man to Venom in the multiverse it's just kind of dumb. Like, it's completely unnecessary. Honestly, if they had just shown us... Basically, if they had just recreated the Tobey Maguire scene, I would have been fine with that. I would have been perfectly fine with that. I don't need to see the Uncle Ben stuff. I mean, they could have shown us the Uncle Ben stuff. I would have been fine with that. But the Uncle Ben stuff happens before that. Because they do... Kind of like Spider-Man Homecoming, they do kind of hint... Or, I guess Civil War, more accurately. They hint that Uncle Ben was a thing, but they don't actually say his name. Which, I don't know why the MCU doesn't want to commit to Uncle Ben. Especially because this is a different universe. You can just say it. Fuck, man. I don't know, but that opening's weird. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. After that, you know, we cut to a few months later. He's got his first Spider-Man suit. Admittedly, I don't mind the suit. It's got like these weird, like, basically his web fluid is in like a tank, and it's got like these cords going off to his web shooters. It all feels like very primitive, very low tech. And for, like, you know, Spider-Man freshman year, you know, it's kind of like, you know, how like Robert Pattinson's Batman was supposed to be like first year Batman, and they kind of showed us that by having him like recording himself constantly, analyzing all of his footage. That's kind of what this kind of feels like, a more put together version of that. So I think the new suit looks fine. It's different, but I don't hate it at all. When it is a costume in the next Spider-Man game, I think it'll be fine. I guess I should say the art style in this show, I think, is fine. It's clearly trying to be the comic books, and I think it does a fine job of being the comics. Honestly, if it reminds me of anything, it reminds me of Ruby. I know some people really fucking hate Ruby's art style, and I kind of get it, but that's what this reminds me of. One of the changes they do make, right, because we've seen Harry Osborn be Peter's friend. We've seen, you know, Ned/Genki be Peter's friend. So this show makes the decision of having Nico Minori? From The Runaways. She is Peter's friend in this show. And honestly, that's a nice change of pace. I do like that. I like Nico in this first episode. I don't think they're shipping Peter and Nico. I get it. I very much get... She's definitely bisexual, because they make a joke early on about, like, oh, if Peter doesn't make a move on Pearl, who I have no idea who Pearl is. They make a joke, if Peter doesn't make a move on Pearl, then Nico will. And I'm fine with that. I think Peter and Nico's chemistry is good. It's entertaining. You know, it's different. I'm perfectly fine with that. Giving him a female friend, I think, is a good idea. So yeah, it's okay. You know, I think the Spider-Man moments in this show are really good. Him stopping Discount Screwball in the first episode and saving Harry. That's a good fight scene. I feel like the reactions are good. The timing is good. The quips are fine. So that's a good moment. And then him fighting Firebrand, or whatever the hell the guy's name is, in the second episode. Also a really good fight, right? It eventually gets taken to a pet store where Peter's trying to save the goldfish and whatnot from being caught on fire. That's not a bad idea. Right, and at the end of the first episode, he meets Norman Osborn, and the second episode, he gets offered a scholarship or an internship to work for Oscorp, because clearly they're just doing the Tony Stark thing, but, you know, different, because it's the multiverse. So they're doing that. He goes to Oscorp, he meets Amadeus Cho, Hulkling. Is it Hulkling? Young Hulk? I know Amadeus Cho is a Hulk. I know he's something Hulk. I remember him on The Champions. He's here. Okay, that's fine. I admittedly, the one girl's from Wakanda. I don't know if she's anyone important, and I admittedly do not recognize the third person at all. The third girl. But he eventually gets stationed under Kirk Connors, who's working on energy. They've changed... So, the elephant in the room that I haven't addressed. The voice actor who's playing Spider-Man in this show did an interview at Collider, and he basically said that, you know, he's glad this show isn't woke. That he was worried it was going to be woke garbage, but it's not. We've already dealt with a racist Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man Lotus, the racist Spider-Man. Woke is just a dog whistle for, you know, racism, right? You know, if he had said it was DEI, it would have meant the same thing, right? Woke, DEI, it's just for people who want to say the N-word, but don't want to be called out for saying the N-word. And honestly, for a lot of people, that comment's going to kill this show forever for them, right? Another racist Spider-Man. You know, if I had a nickel for every time we had a racist Spider-Man, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it antithetically goes against the core principles of Spider-Man. So we never should have had 2 racist Spider-Mans to begin with. Fuck, man. So yeah, I get this is going to kill this show for some people. It's like in the new Captain America movie, they have Sabra, who is the Israeli Captain America. And that's going to kill that movie for anybody, and rightfully so. Like, yeah, fuck that. But I was going to watch it anyways. But no, if you don't want to watch it, I totally get that. Because, yeah, fuck that comment. But the crazy thing is, like, he said in this interview, he says, like, oh, I'm glad it's not woke. The show's totally woke, right? Again, Nico Minora. God, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. A bunch of the characters are black that weren't black before. You know, Harry Osborn and Norman. Admittedly, his skin color now matches his haircut, but still. And then they turn Kirk Connors into a black woman. Which, my problem isn't that she's black. My problem is that she's a woman. Okay. Wait. Hear me out. I know that sounds bad. The reason why I say that is because traditionally, in the comics and in the Amazing Spider-Man movie, Kirk Connors is a stand-in father figure for Peter Parker. That after Peter loses, you know, his parents are dead, he loses Uncle Ben, Kirk Connors comes in and acts as a father figure for him. You know, I know, you know, the Raimi movies didn't do that because they basically just gave that plot to Doc Ock. But traditionally, Kirk Connors is a father figure for Peter. So them making Kirk Connors into a woman, I mean, admittedly, I don't really feel like the Spectacular Spider-Man show did that. So it's I'm saying that just because, you know, I don't actually think it's a problem. But yeah, you know, honestly, if they had killed off Aunt May and instead it had been Uncle Ben in this show and Aunt May was the one who got shot, that would have been interesting. Because the only other time I can think of that is the current run of Ultimate Spider-Man. That would have been interesting, you know, that would have been different. But no, and right, make Kirk Connors a mother figure for Peter. Yeah, no, I would have been down for that. But no, I like the Kirk Connors stuff we see. I hope, there's a part of me that hopes it's like a slow build, that, you know, because in, I think, Spectacular Spider-Man, Kirk Connors becomes the Lizard by like episode 4 or 5. I kind of hope they wait a little bit and are like, no, you know, Kirk Connors isn't even going to be the Lizard this season. And instead next season. Instead, of course, admittedly, they make that change, but then they follow it up by having Norman, who's going to become the father figure, who admittedly, again, he kind of plays that role in the first Raimi film. Right, because Norman Osborn is the type of man who likes Peter as his son more than he does his own son. That's just kind of the guy Norman is. And that's spectacular. That's the Raimi movies. That's Spectacular Spider-Man. That's just kind of how it works. But clearly, I know in recent comics, comics that people don't like, they've been experimenting with Norman being more of like a guy in a chair for Peter, and clearly they're going to do something here. We see what looks like the Future Foundation suit in the trailer, so we'll eventually get to that. But no, the end of the second episode is Norman revealing to Peter that, hey, I know you're Spider-Man. And clearly that's going to go somewheres, that's going to go wrong eventually. But no, I think the first 2 episodes of the show are actually fine. I don't, I like Spider-Man. If this is quote-unquote not woke DEI garbage, quote unquote, because I definitely misquoted that. If this is what this is supposed to be, I think they're kind of failing at it. Not that I think this is going to be for everyone, and that comment really will sour a lot of people, right? Because, hey, if it's woke, the right won't watch it. But because of what the voice actor said, people on the left aren't going to watch it. So now they've alienated both audiences. I've seen some conspiracy theory people say that, oh, this is just Disney testing their audience to see that now that we're in the Trump administration, what can they get away with? I think that's too charitable a read. I know Disney is evil. I think that's too charitable a read. Besides, Disney's been testing things for a while now. But no, I genuinely thought both these episodes were decent. I will probably watch more of it. I like Spider-Man. Would I have much rather gotten either a Spectacular Spider-Man Season 3, or they had continued the 90s show the same way they continued the 90s X-Men show? Yes, I probably would have taken either of those things. And there's potential we still get both of those things. But, this is what we have. I think it's already been confirmed to get a second season in like 4 years. Because, every TV show now takes 4 years in between seasons. Someone pointed out that Stranger Things, which they teased its 5th season today, we have gone through 4 presidents since season 3 has premiered, or since the first season premiered. Obama was still in office when season 1 of Stranger Things premiered. And we've gone through Trump, Biden, and now we're back with another 4 years of Trump, who is, again, technically the same guy, but we count it differently for some reason now. I don't know. The only precedent is this has happened one other time, so, that's basically unprecedented. God, it's going to be a long fucking 4 years, man. We're not talking politics tonight, outside of, the politics we've already talked, but, because everything is political. But fuck, man, everything sucks. It's worse than before, and unfucking it's going to be such a shit show. It's all gone tits up, and, I mean, people are going to fight the good fight, but we'll see. Because there's a part of me that worries the only thing worse than President Trump is going to be President Vance. God. Okay, let's move on. Harley Quinn got its next episode. We are at season 5, episode 3. In the last episode, it was Ivy's revenge. She had this guy that she dated, a professor she dated in college named Woodrew, who basically tried to kill her to steal Frank. And she, in response, that's how she basically injected herself with plant cells, which turned her green. So we got her origin story, which, again, I still swear she was green in an episode before that. But regardless, we get that, and then she gets revenge on the guy by killing him. Basically the same way he tried to kill her, she uses to kill him. Good moment. My problem with this episode, I think all the Harley and Ivy stuff in this episode is great. They're always great. That's not my problem. My problem is fucking Clayface. Man, I like Alan Tudyk. I do. I think he, you know, in every Disney thing he's been in, he's liked. I even in the first season, the first like 2 seasons of Harley Quinn, I didn't mind him. I'm so fucking... I hate his Clayface. Man, I think from what I've heard, he's also in Creature Commandos as Clayface. From what I've heard, he's great in that show. But in Harley Quinn, I just can't fucking stand his voice, his character. Like, I get it, but I find it so annoying. So, you know, the show kind of learned its lesson, and he only appeared for like half an episode last season. So I was kind of hopeful that, you know, he wasn't going to show back up again this season. But no, he's in Metropolis, even though he got like critical acclaim in the last season, right? He was in Vegas or whatever. He finally had his critical acclaim. Okay, admittedly, that might have also been a comic book thing. I kind of don't remember. Either way, you know, even though he was, you know, more respected in the last season, in this season, he's back to being a joke. Because, like, the one time they used him in Season 4, I actually didn't mind at all. Because, again, they used him very sparingly. And I really hope they're using him very sparingly this season as well. Because, yeah, he kind of sucks this season. His whole... Basically, he's doing Pearl Harbor, a one-man play about Pearl Harbor. And it sucks, and the Daily Planet writes a bad review, so he kidnaps Perry and basically replaces him. That again, in season 3, he basically replaced that one famous actor, and it was kind of grating, and that's kind of what it feels like here. It's, you know, he makes Bane basically like the senior editor or whatever, you know, the senior reporter or whatever. And it's just, oh god, I don't want to deal with another season of Clayface. I mean, I know the writers clearly really like him, and he's had his moments, but for the most part, I just can't stand him. But okay, back to the good stuff. Harley and Ivy, basically, we find out Woodrue survived, which we knew about at the end of the last episode. But he's immediately back to get his revenge. He's, you know, basically tapped into the green, and he's using it against Ivy. He goes by... It's like formaldehyde or something like that. He's a tree guy, right? He's got a stupid name. They make fun of him for having a stupid name. But he captures Ivy, and he's going to kill her in the green. So Harley calls Frank, who goes into the green to help her out. Meanwhile, Harley has to go find his body and kill him in real life. Right as they're fucked and he's about to kill them, Harley finds his body and, like a turkey carver, basically, carves him up. And, you know, every time, like, he starts regenerating, she just carves him up again, cuts his head off, cuts it in half. And yeah, eventually she's able to kill him. Because Harley is mad in the first half of the episode, because this revenge moment, like, this is a big deal. And if, you know, if Ivy got revenge, she wants to know about it. She wants to, you know, talk through her emotions, everything. Because, yeah, getting revenge against the guy who basically is your origin story is a big fucking deal. So I get that, right? I get their perspective. Again, I only know because the writers have said so that they're never going to break up Harley and Ivy. So that's why I'm kind of not really worried about them ever breaking up. Because, you know, they have a healthy relationship, and when they fight, they have a healthy fight. It's just a great show, man. You know, it's a great show when it's about Harley and Ivy. And I don't mind, you know, Bane, I kind of also feel the same way about. Bane can kind of be annoying, but not always. But in the end, you know, they killed the guy, she's saved. There's a part of me that, so in the first season, Joker kills Ivy to, you know, piss off Harley. I kind of wish they had done the opposite here. If, you know, because Joker was Harley's ex. If this Woodrue guy tried to kill Harley, right, because, you know, she's Pamela's ex. I feel like that would have been, like, a good twist. But I still think that part, the Pamela Ivy part of the episode is really good. And then at the end, they're kidnapped by Brainiac, which they had hinted at a few episodes ago. Because there's a lot going, right? We got this Woodrue guy who's now out of the way. We have Brainiac. We also have Lena Luthor. There's definitely one other thing I'm forgetting about for sure that's going to happen. I know Lois Lane was hinting at something. So yeah, we're definitely going to at least get one more thing. But yeah, so far, you know, some of the season has been good. Honestly, I've been enjoying the season up until... I think this is the first time I'm kind of like hesitant. Other than that, I have been enjoying the season. So yeah, that's Harley Quinn. Anything else? Anything else? Because I do want to beat this world. We're at least going to beat this world. You know, we're almost there. At least I hope we are. I think we just got this and then the boss. Which I have no idea what this boss is, by the way. Oh, I guess we should talk about Donkey Kong Country. Like, fuck. My thoughts so far, honestly, World 4 fucking sucked. The minecart level, the bat level, both those levels were awful. And then World 5 was a lot easier. Like, World 5 was so much easier. Admittedly, that spider level, where we were having to run away from the spiders, was awful. Because you basically had to do that in one take. I was trying to get the letters, but after a few times I realized, like, oh, this isn't going to happen. So I eventually gave up on that. But other than that, World 5 was fine. Its boss fight was okay. I felt like I should have done a little better on it. But other than that, you know, its boss fight was fine. World 6 has also been okay. It's felt kind of long. Like, I think this is, like, that's the one thing about World 4. I think it was only like 3 or 4 levels. Like, it was actually pretty short. It was at most 5 levels. This world, though, has been closer to like 7. And it's just felt a lot longer. But other than that, you know, I've been enjoying this game. I'm more excited to play Tropical Freeze. Because admittedly, like, this very much feels like a Mario game. Where, you know, you go from, you know, grasslands, desert, ocean, fire world, boss, you know. This game feels very safe as we're going through, you know, Donkey Kong Land. Whereas I know Tropical Freeze kind of breaks all the rules. And, like, I specifically remember the world where everything is an ice cream factory. Where, you know, you start off with the villains harvesting fruit, then you see the fruit get chopped up and turned into juice, and then, you know, it gets turned into popsicles, and then the final boss is eating the popsicles. Right? Like, that's a whole like, world in Tropical Freeze. And, you know, each level is doing something different, there's a lot more variety. I think that's great. I really do think that's great. And... yeah, that's just the one thing I, like, remember. Not that the level design in this game is bad or uninteresting. It's just, you know, I've been there. I've done that. There's been some good moments. Again, the spider level, I think, is a great exception to that. Like, you know, you build up the world seeing the spiders, and then you finally go into their egg nest. Like, that's good. The only thing that would have maybe been different is if the final boss should have been a spider. Arachnophobia, yeah, I get that. But yeah, that would have been maybe my only change. No, I've been enjoying it. You know, it's a good game. I'm glad I'm replaying it. I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Mario and Kirby games. If it wasn't obvious by like the things we've been talking about these past few weeks, I've been playing so much Mario, so much Kirby. Why? I don't really know, honestly. I've just kind of been in the mood to play some Mario and some Kirby. I knew I shouldn't have gone for it, but I tried it anyways, and that was a mistake. Yeah, I've just been playing Mario and Kirby, and I've been having a good time. I really should play Amazing Mirror next. That's the one. That's the next Kirby game I should play. I want to play Sunshine. But I think I've mentioned this before. My roommate took my copy of 3D All-Stars when they moved out. Admittedly, I probably could just you know, call him and get it back. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there's a part of it, because I haven't played Sunshine. Because I did not play Sunshine in 3D All-Stars. I probably have not played Sunshine in, like... I'm gonna say 10 years. It might have been more than that. I'll just say it's been a while since I played Sunshine, and I kind of want to play it again. I also wouldn't mind playing Galaxy again either. But then I'd want to play Galaxy 2. Man, why the fuck didn't that collection have Galaxy 2 in it? I really... Because I would play Galaxy 2 again. But I just don't want to dig out the Wii U to play it again. It's kind of like... I've been thinking about playing Splatoon again. Splatoon 2 story mode. And the Octo expansion. But I'm kind of like, if I want to play that again, maybe I want to dig out the Wii U to play Splatoon 1. Because I haven't played that one. I've literally only ever played Splatoon 1 story mode once. I also think I've only played Splatoon 2 story mode once. I've only played all game story modes once. That's the best way to put it. So there's a part of me that kind of wants to play Splatoon 1 story mode. But then I'd want to play Splatoon 2 story mode. And I know Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 story modes are very fucking similar. So maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I should just stick to Splatoon. Maybe I should just do Splatoon. The reason is because I've recommended Splatoon 2 to somebody, and so that's kind of why I've been thinking about it. You know, recommend Splatoon 2. You know, they've got Nintendo Switch Online. They can play that. They can play the Octo expansion. Yeah. I just don't want to dig out the Wii U or the Wii, because those are. Honestly, I'd be more willing to dig out the Wii U if I wasn't for the fact that my gamepad has drift. Yep, my gamepad has stick drift. And as far as I know, there is literally nothing you can do about that. Like, I might be able... It honestly would probably be cheaper to just buy a new Wii U than to have Nintendo fix it. Or, you know, somebody else. And that kind of sucks. I think that's where we're at. So, this boss is literally just the first boss, but with armor. That's kind of I mean, Mario games do this all the time. I mean, I just praised New Super Mario Bros. DS the other week, and I'm pretty sure it literally just did that. I still haven't watched Severance. I think we're up to episode 3 now, and I've heard it's getting good. Like, I've heard each episode is better than the last. And I want to get to it, and I just haven't. Anything else? I am probably gonna go see Dogman. You know, I liked the Captain Underpants books as a kid. I admittedly never read the Dogman books, but I trust Dave Pilkey. And Dogman is not something I really care about, but I liked the Captain Underpants movie. I genuinely think DreamWorks did a good job at, like, adapting their source material. So, you know, if Dogman seems decent, I might check it out next week. I know Keo Kwan's new movie comes out next week. Is it like Love Hurts or something like that? Where he's like, basically John Wick. He's like a retired John Wick who has to come back into the game. I don't know. It's Keo Kwan, you know? I trust him, hopefully. I kind of want to see that. And then, of course, there's Captain America, which, yeah. I don't know. I really should just say fuck it and go see Paddington. Like, that's the thing. I really should just say fuck it and see Paddington 2. Or Paddington 3. Because I've heard it's good. Not as good as 1 or 2, but I've still heard it is good. But, like, fuck, man. I will. I will definitely get to Paddington 2. I just don't know when. Have I done anything else? Oh, so... God, this is treating me like an outro. So over on TikTok, So a few weeks ago, there was Ozlith started a trend of basically setting your favorite Pokemon to the song from Epic the Musical. You know, the "I Will Fall in Love with You" over and over again. I can't actually remember the name of the song off the top of my head, but right, it was setting your favorite Pokemon. Of course, I did one with my favorite, Duraludon. I always pronounce it Duraludon. I know it's Duraludon, but my Mecha, right? That's her name. Right, and her son, Centurion. So I did a video to that, and then he did a massive compilation of like a bunch of people's, and I wasn't in it, and that sucked. But whatever, you know, it's whatever. So I did that Pokemon thing a few weeks ago, and then this week, at least on my For You page, just to kind of, you know, I guess I'm telling on myself here. On my For You page, the thing everyone's been talking about is this Axolotl song. It's made by this guy named Dr. Waffles, and it's like, oh, there's an axolotl on the pink stairs. I don't think an axolotl is supposed to be there. It's this very cute, like, Sesame Street song that has just been an unkillable earworm in my brain. And on, like, Wednesday, after hearing it, you know, all week, basically, I was like, oh, I should do this in Pokemon. You know, the same way I did the favorite Pokemon thing. I should just recreate this song in Pokemon. Right, with the Axolotl Pokemon Wooper and the Penguin Pokemon Piplup. Admittedly, my original idea was Ice Cube. So that was the idea. And it was one of those ideas where I was like, this is a really good idea. I need to do this before somebody else does. I had it while I was at work. And so all throughout the rest of the workday, I was like, please let me do this before somebody else does. Because I thought it was a really good idea. So I sat down, I made it. I got like 30 minutes of footage for a 1-minute video. Because there's an element, because I'm bad at this clearly. But I edited it together. I think it's fine. Originally it went... whatever... Not Galarian. Whatever the Wooper. Paldean Wooper. Ice Cube. Normal Wooper. Piplup. And then, if I had a shiny Wooper, I would have used that, but I didn't. So I just used Quagsire. Because I had a Quagsire. And I don't have a Clodsire. Which I was surprised I didn't have a Clodsire, but I didn't. So I just used that. And then I used Empoleon. Because I had one. Because because I did not want to catch a shiny Wooper. I didn't want to worry about evolving a Quagsire. And I had an Empoleon, so I just got 2 eggs real quick. Super easy. You know, again, I tried to do everything in like 30 minutes. So I did all that. And so that was the original plan. And then while I was editing it, I was like, you know what? This should obviously just be, instead of Ice Cube, Piplup, and Empoleon, the one on the stairs should be Piplup. The one on the chair should be Prinplup, and then the final one should be Empoleon. So I went back, I got the Prinplup footage, I thought I got the Empoleon footage, or I thought I got the Piplup footage. I got the Prinplup, I thought I got the Piplup. Nope, turns out I didn't get the Piplup. So I had to go back, get the Piplup footage again. Because I had Piplup on the lawn chair, and I needed Piplup on the pink stairs. So I had to go back, get that footage. Did it? Yeah, I think it came together really well. You know, I had some problems where I was like, I can't tell if my controller is starting to develop drift, or if the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's camera is just really fucking finicky. I honestly can't tell. But either way, I really struggled, right, to get some good still shots, you know. But I think overall it turned out fine. I think my favorite moment is near the end, where the Axolotl sing, like, I have all Quagsire, Wooper, and Paldean Wooper together. And they sing their little Axolotl song. I think it's just so cute. Getting all 3 of the Piplup line together. I think it looks very cute. The final shot is whatever. Like, that's my one big, is the final shot. But, you know, Scarlet and Violet does not have a good camera mode. As far as I'm concerned, to have a good camera mode in the game, you have to be able to turn off the HUD. And you can turn off the HUD during picnics, But as far as I can tell, you cannot turn off the HUD while you're in camera. And that just makes things harder. That kind of sucks. But I was able to get it done. I got it edited. It went up on TikTok. It started doing really well immediately. And then once it hit 500 views, it just instantly died. Because, you know, sometimes the TikTok algorithm fucking hates you. It lets you get that 500 views, and then it just kills the video. I think now it's sitting at like 600 or 700. I don't know, let me look. It is sitting at 700 views with over 100 likes. Only one comment. So in theory, right, 1 in every 7 people like that video. That's a good ratio. But no, kind of like the Galarian, or kind of like the Duraludon video. After it got so many views, TikTok just killed it. Admittedly, that one did a little better. I think that one got, yeah, that one got over 3,000 with a 1 in every 100 people liked it. Is that math right? It's something like that. One in every 10 people. Yeah, 1 in every 10. That's still not bad at all. But yeah, after a certain amount of views, TikTok just... I don't know, sometimes I worry that, like, when I post highlights from this podcast, right, I just do something that pisses off the algorithm. Usually it's I say fuck, and then the videos just get buried. Right, because, like, admittedly, I know the Axolotl song is only on, like, it's not on everyone's For You page. It's, like, very niche. But I don't know, I guess I just hope for a little bit more, because I seemed like such a good, obvious idea. Kind of like the Batman one I did a while ago, where I was like, oh, this is such a good, obvious idea. And that one did fantastic. That's like my best performing video ever. Or the Dimension 20 Bluey one also did insanely well, and I was like, yeah, that's a banger right there. This one I was like, you know, this one has potential. And nah, it just didn't. It just didn't. Again, it's niche, but whatever. Because the Minecraft one did insane. Like, someone recreated it in Minecraft, and that one did, like, stupid well. That one's got over 1 million views and 3,500 or 3,450 likes. Okay, there we go. We're fucking done with that boss. That boss sucked. We got 2 worlds left. I remember hearing that World 7 isn't that bad, but I've heard World 8 is awful. So I guess that's what we're dealing with next week. If not, Splatoon next week. Like, fuck, man. I've heard World 8 sucks. And we haven't been doing any of the bonus levels, by the way. I've been intentionally kind of skipping over all of that. Because I hear this game's a bitch and a half to 100%. But I remember it being a bitch and a half to 100%, so that doesn't surprise me. And our next world is Factory. Okay. Alright, let me do that. Let me pull up. Actually, I already had it pulled up. I just need to open it. Alright. Back here. Yep, we're all good. We got audio, I think. Alright, so as we get into this... Oops. As we get into this, I have not seen this episode. I have also not seen episode 4. You know, usually I come in like having already seen this, but I've just been busy this week. I have not had time to sit down and watch these. So I have no fucking idea how this is going to go. This might go great. This might go terrible. I'm hopeful right now. And I think they did announce the next 2 events.
This tournament is already.
I want to say they're doing all winter events, which for all stars, I don't know if you're doing all stars. That's not what I want. I like the idea of all stars. I hope they do all stars again. I think that's a good idea, especially for like 10-year anniversary. I don't want them to do it every like anniversary year, but I like the idea in theory.
This time for an event that has a lot of speed in a head-to-head battle, but absolutely no lanes. This is the Ice
Can you
Dash.
hear that? Does that sound...
This event led
I've got
off
the volume all the way
2024 Winter Marble League, sponsored by Mint Mobile, and it was won by Swifty of the Savage Speeders, beating the Raspberry Racers, Ruzzy, and the Green Ducks, Billy, Blue Eye from the Crazy Cat's Eyes.
See, and I think part of the reason I don't want it all to be winter events is because my team just did so fucking poorly that the idea of us just doing that all over again sounds miserable.
Now it's Balls of Chaos, who are desperate to get any points on the board whatsoever. They DNF'd in bobsled.
That's still such a crazy moment.
This time,
Bobsled was fucking wild. And that's Balls of Chaos and Limers being the two that made it out of that. And Momo losing. Oh my god.
And the Oceanics. Off they go. Green Ducks maybe edged ahead just a little bit. Now it's Crazy Cat's Eyes. They will hold on for the win. And Green Ducks will also advance in second place, closely hounded by the Oceanics. 5-0-7-7 for Blue Eye.
Okay, Green Ducks.
Is better than what that marble did in the final of the 24 Marble League. Pinkies, Wisps, Tasers, and the Speeders. Off they go, and the Savage Speeders are going to have to dig deep here. They might get eliminated. The winners, the gold medalists in the main event. This time, did they hang on? That is too close to call. Let's wait for timing and scoring. They did. Midnight Wisps, and it will be Savage Speeders over the Hazers. 0.02 of a second.
Okay, here we go.
Galactic.
We're first slot. We're against... fuck.
And Raspberry Racers.
Come on, I believe.
Raspberry Racers slide across to block them
yes!
Off, and
oh, fucking take it. And screw the O-Rangers, man. That's what I'm talking
Galactic
about.
Primary and the O-Rangers.
I'll take second. That's
both in the 5-2s.
I'll take, you know, as long as it advances us.
Winners so far looking pretty good in that 5 flat range. And
oh wow, the Rangers did awful.
They are
sucks
done.
for them. Oh.
Yellow's Marble Runs is excited to announce the launch of our toy brand. Start off with our Collector Series marbles, which includes 32 of our most popular marble teams.
I still don't know how I'm going to display them.
So you can have
I know that's something I talk about every week, but I still don't know what I want to do.
And to track their progress,
you know what, fuck it, let me just look it up.
The 5 competition racing brackets we've included. So come and join.
I'm just going to Google marble display.
Let's race. Shop now on Yellow's Marble
Oh wait, marble display stand? Ooh, it's like a little like podium.
Supporting this channel and supporting the vision.
See, I was thinking like the little like bowling ball rings. I don't.
Hopefully, keep you on the edge of your seat.
They've got like a little display, like a hexagon display stand. I don't hate that. It's on Etsy. When I look up marble display, it's just showing me like marble tables.
Unsure if they would have had the speed anyway, but Savage Speeders go from nearly being eliminated.
Yeah, like a 10 marble display marble holder.
5-0.
That's it looks like something you could 3D print pretty easily.
In the heats back in the Marble League, but
that's
slower
not,
than what they did in the
I don't hate that.
Balls of Chaos, Team Galactic.
Maybe if I could get it in my color, purple.
And once again, Balls of Chaos, quick out of the gate. Green Ducks are battling with them. In the draft, there's Team Galactic, and I think that worked well for them.
I think we took it in the draft.
Balls of Chaos.
Admittedly, I was not paying attention there, but oh shit, yes! That puts us... Come on, we just have to get top 3. Just please, get us a medal, and then I can be carefree for the rest of the season. We took home something in All-Stars. That's all I ask. Fuck, I just cursed us.
For the final 4 marbles.
I just cursed us.
We'll claim some
no, I believe.
Balls of Chaos, Savage
I
Speeders,
believe.
and the Crazy Cat's Eyes. Very even out of the gate. Here go Balls of Chaos.
No, no, fuck.
Far side, jumping around, and this is going to be too close to call.
I totally jinxed us. We were so far behind.
Balls of Chaos were quickest out of the gate.
Oh my.
Now they go nearly 3
that was
wide.
They even Savage Speeders even bumped there. That was our closest chance to get a medal, and we just fucking blew it. Oh my
of a second. Crazy Cat's Eyes, Blue Eye.
That was it.
Beats
that could have been. I know we were up against the fucking Savage Speeders. I get that. They're a hard team to beat. And Crazy Cat's Eyes are also really good. But we totally could have beat the Balls of Chaos.
Excellent battle in that final
But
race.
fucking
Swifty wondering what could have been. Balls of Chaos thrilled.
that was
to
it.
try to make up
That
for
was
what
our
a very poor
chance
start
for
to this tournament.
redemption.
And crazy
I know
Cat's
we've still
Eye.
got 5 more
They get
events.
their first medal of these games.
Fuck.
Just like in the main Marble League, they went fastest in the semifinals. Actually went slower in the finals, but it was still enough. Balls of Chaos right in there. Only broke that 5.1 mark once, and that was in the finals. Best run of the day. Meanwhile, at the bottom, Minty Maniacs, Primary, and O'Rangers very disappointed to finish absolutely at the bottom of the field. What does this do?
Yeah,
for
fuck
overall
the
standings? The
O'Rangers.
Limers now have a 10-point lead over Team
We're
Primary.
up to
with
7th.
their
Okay,
dire
we're gaining
result.
some
Minty Maniacs in
places.
3rd, Momo in 4th, but the Cats have jumped 9 spots.
All right,
as
we got
get
one
ready
more.
for the
We
skiing
got
rally.
the ski rally.
Looks like you're getting a 3,200.
Another reason to be a good driver is...
Nope. You may get my ad video, you terrible companies, but you don't get my audio. That goes for companies I actually give a shit about. Admittedly, Met Mobile isn't one of them, but you know, they're supporting the league. I gotta give them at least a little credit.
The daunting slope that awaits our competitors, filled with twists and turns, undulations they will have to manage, trees right in the middle of the track, and oh yeah, you've got 3 other marbles careening down with you,
Hey, those look
all
pretty
vying
big.
for 2 transfer spots in each heat to make it to the end. Hey everybody, I'm Greg Woods. This is Event 4 of the Marble League All-Stars, presented by Mint Mobile. This event, the Ski Rally. No pizzaing here. This will be flat out attack from start to finish. This was event 14 in the Big Marble League, and as we saw back then, it's not a matter of having a clean run, because almost nobody will do that. It's all about recovering from your impacts. If you put a foot wrong, if you get collected on the wall, if you hit one of those trees right in the middle, how you recover makes all the difference in the world. Down we go, and it's Team Primary. First to the first pinch point, but they are shouldered aside by the Limers, the leaders in the overall standings. They still hold on to the top spot down here in the final run.
Yeah,
Primary
well,
in second.
You know,
Getting caught up
again,
on the walls.
the
Raspberry Racers
Limers,
get
the
by.
Balls
They
of
will
Chaos,
transfer along
in
with the Limers.
Team Primary, I expect nothing from. And yet,
Minty
they're
Maniacs,
showing up
the
to play.
chagrin of the Mint fans in attendance, they are eliminated. Same thing with our
Okay,
second
Team
place
Primary
team in
lost
the
there,
standings,
but,
Team
you know,
Primary.
they did good in other places.
14-9-5 for the Limers.
I guess this is their
15-7
chance to
good
get
enough
themselves out of
for the
relegation.
Raspberry Racers as well. Pinkies, O'Rangers, Green Ducks, and the Oceanics now, and down they come. Oceanics, with a collision from behind, it sent them forward right into the wall. That falls them back to 3rd spot. O'Rangers take the lead, but get hung up on the wall. Oceanics are resurgent, and back by they go. Will they hold on? Yes, they do. O'Rangers will also transfer, and the O's have it. They will be moving on. Green Ducks and Pinkies, they are done. 2 captains eliminated there. One of
Green
them
Ducks again.
has moved on for Oceanics. Hazers, Momo, Mellow Yellow, and the Savage Speeders now. And the Speeders,
I don't know.
very fast. Momo
I'm
not
so
letting them get away, however.
broken-hearted.
You heard that little clink. That contact
I know
between
4th
them.
place isn't
Oh, they hold
bad,
on Hazers with
but
some
when we were
contact
right
there,
fucking
sent
there,
the Speeders forward.
and after the season we've had,
Momo will also advance, but wow, they were hung up in that little collection area. Not this one, but the next one. And watch the Hazers come straight on through. They saw the opportunity, but instead collided with the Savage Speeders. And that set the Speeders forward en route to a 14-5-9 and the win. Another captain eliminated in Mellow Yellow.
I would say, God, if this is just another
Crazy
speeder
Cat's Eyes, Team
victory,
Galactic, Midnight
you know, they've
Wisps,
already got
and
2
Balls of Chaos.
wins.
Chaos first,
Okay, come on. You can come back from that.
Crazy Cat's Eyes get
Admittedly,
by.
the hazers didn't last time, but you can do anything. That's what I'm talking about. Oh,
And
yeah.
Galactic
That's
said,
what
"You're
I'm
holding the door
fucking
for me,
talking
I'll walk on
about.
through."
Oh, my
Galactic
gosh.
gets the
Yes.
win.
Yes. Look
An
at that.
opportunistic move.
You know, they went from behind. They came through. They
Marbles
took the
just released
fucking
Team Galactic
lead.
in 4th place at this point. Crazy
That's-
Cat's Eyes and
look
Balls
at
of
them.
Chaos just hang
Look
there
at them
on that
right there. Oh,
triangle,
that's
and
beautiful.
somehow Team Galactic threads the needle.
Great.
15-6-1,
Great showing.
16-3-2. Galactic
Sadness
and Wisp move
gone.
on.
Now here
Another
we
captain
are.
falls for the Balls of Chaos. They were 4th in the Marble League. In this event, Mellow Yellow on down. They
look at the
are
green ducks.
eliminated. They go no further.
I wish I had fingers to do an L.
Yellow's Marble Runs is excited to announce the launch of our toy.
So yeah, I was looking at the.
Start off
So I
with
saw
our
the
Collector
little like
Series
podiums,
marbles, which
and I
includes
see
32 of our most popular
purple, and I'm like,
marble
okay,
teams.
sold
Or
out.
You can buy sets of 10 marbles,
Fuck.
so you can have team races with one of our Skyway Chase Marble Run sets. And to track their progress, you can use one of the 5 competition racing brackets we've included. So come and join the Yellow's Marble
That
Runs
sucks.
community, and let's race. Shop now on yellowsmarbleruns.com. The kind of contact you
Yeah, I just see
in
little,
that
like,
marble run,
acrylic
very similar to what we
rings.
are witnessing inside.
I
the
mean, I'm
stadium
sure they would
today.
work fine,
This beautiful
but I'd still
slope
want
of
something to
trees
put them
look
on.
placid
I like the idea
and
because, you
serene
know,
until you whack into
Team
them at full
Galactic is
speed.
kind of like transparent.
Wisps, speeders, liners,
Having like
and
some light
O'Rangers.
shown into them, I think would look good.
And it's the Wisps
But-
getting out in front in the semifinal. Hard into the trees. They've
We'll
fallen back
see.
to last place. O'Rangers get on through to the lead. I don't see Wispy. The Midnight Wisps are stuck. The O'Rangers and Savage Speeders will
Wow.
advance. Our championship leader, Limers,
Ah, sucks for them.
they will go no further. They miss out on the medal round by 1. Let's see. Whoa, Midnight Wisps getting hit 2, 3 times. Are they stuck on a tree or the wall? Maybe the well, it is
Yeah,
the
they're
wall.
stuck on the wall.
A DNF
enough.
for Wispy. Limers also do not make it, but 2 of our 4 in the final, they're set. The Rangers and Savage Speeders will be moving on. Who will be joining them? Will it be Galactic, Oceanics, Momo,
Come
or
on.
Raspberry Racers? The
Okay,
Racers
we're behind.
fast
We
on
came
through.
back from this
Momo
last time.
in hot
We can
pursuit.
totally do it again. They just need to
Those
get
two
tripped
trying
up
to
a little
distance
bit.
themselves from the field, but the trees bringing
No,
everything
no,
together
you don't
again.
need to get tripped up as
Oceanics
well.
sneak
Fuck.
by. They're into second place. Raspberry Racers
There we
and
go.
Oceanics will have a shot
There
at
we
the medal.
go. Ah.
Momo and Team Galactic, they are done.
The winners and the losers. The winner and the loser of
Team
the Marble
Galactic
League,
6th
both
in the
down
Marble League.
Fucking toilet.
And that could be right around where they finish in this one.
That
depending
could have
on
been
how
our
the
just,
times
you know,
shake
we
out.
tried to come back
Momo,
from
they were down in
behind.
10th
That was the
back
strategy,
in
and it just
event
didn't
14.
work.
Galactic, 6th indeed.
I mean, again,
Momo
we're
get
getting
5th
decent
Limers.
positions all
And Midnight
around,
Wisp with their DNF
but
finished
winning
in
does
8th.
so much.
4 marbles, only 3
Right.
of them will
Winning-
medals. The
it's
Oceanics, O'Rangers,
25
Savage Speeders, and the
points
Raspberry Racers. The
in
Speeders are quick,
first
but Raspberry
to the
Racers find
fucking,
a
like,
cleaner way through those
12
trees.
you get
They lead over the
in,
O'Rangers. Oceanics, they get by into second place, now into first. Pinballing
in
around off the wall.
4th.
Raspberry Racers make a
That's
move.
such
They
a
can't get it done.
huge
Savage Speeders
difference.
hold second place.
And there's another
And it
win
would
for
be
the Savage
Oceanics
Speeders.
getting the win.
That's huge for them. That's because they
Oceanics
just
in
bumped up like
third
4
spot,
places.
entering that section
That's easily
first
another
on the
4, if not
exit.
more.
Crucial moment for the Raspberry Racers.
Okay, I know the
Before this
Oceanics
scene
won that,
here, they
but-
tried to make the move. The door was shut, and that let the Savage
That's
Speeders
still-
into
ooh, that's
second
20
place
points.
for the silver.
Oh,
Congratulations to our podium finishers, the Raspberry Racers.
and I think
were
that's the first time the
15th in
Oceanics have
standings.
won anything
That's
in
their first
these
medal.
4 games.
The Savage Speeders, this is their second. The
That's the
Oceanics
Oceanics'
is their
first medal in a long
and
time.
It's gold.
Let's go with the Raspberry Racers one. So. You know, it's going better than the main league.
The opportunity is there.
But it's
up
not
at the
going.
front. The Limers, first in the standings, only finish in 7th here. Team Primary, second in the standings, 14th. Minty Maniacs, third in the standings, 16th. Just one captain made it to the final. And ended up
It's
winning it
been
all.
very chaotic, right? With the exception of the
Unusual
Savage
that
Speeders,
captain
I feel
did
like
put
this
in
has all
the
been very
fastest time in the
chaotic.
3 runs.
Which is
In
why I'm
the
surprised we
final,
didn't win.
for gold.
Because this All-Stars has been felt like it's all over
In
the
overall
place.
standings, the Limers do hold on to the lead. But look at
And there you go,
Savage
Savage Speeders went up
Oceanics
6 spots.
and 11 respectively. Momo in 4th, Galactic
We're
up to a surprising 5th.
We're up to
Mountain
5th.
Climbing
That,
coming up next.
wait, let me go back one. We are up to 5th. That's not bad. Literally, one win will jump us up all the way to 1st. Again, assuming the Liars, assuming these teams do bad, one win jumps us up to 1st. Barely, but still. That'd be very nice. That would be so nice. All right, let's see what's coming up in the future. Again, I think it's more winter events. We got Skiing Rally, which was a few days ago. We got climbing, which I don't think we did well in climbing in them. I know we did do bad on climbing. And then we saw the hive pipe down there. You know, it's inevitable. Again, I wish there were some... They're gonna end off with funnel endurance. There's no way they don't end off with funnel. That's one of the most iconic events in the league. So there's no way they don't end off with funnel endurance. Or at least, that's second to last. But yeah, we'll watch those next week. Will I have pre-watched them? I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like my reactions were a little better this week because, I hadn't seen anything. Man. I guess that takes us to the end. What's coming up? Next week there is, I think, a Splatfest. I want to say the Valentine's Day Splat... Even though, it's a chocolate Splatfest that's supposed to be, around Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day falls on a Friday this year. For some reason, the Splatfest is the week before Valentine's Day. I'm pretty sure it's next week. Which is weird and random, but okay. So we might do that. Or, if not, we finish off Donkey Kong. That's the hope. We'll do one or the other. I don't know. Man, other than that... We actually did a lot tonight. We went for 3 hours. Almost. We got a lot done. I talked about a lot of things. I thought about doing Celeste because I streamed Celeste in 2022, so I thought I streamed Celeste in 22. Maybe I do the B-side this year in 25. I thought about it, but that's not gonna be a fun watch. That's just me gonna be frustrated because the B-side is fucking brutal. But I don't know, I was thinking about it. But no, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Some things never change. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time. Peace.